All right, welcome to another edition of the BS sessions with me, Jerry.
Some guy.
Charles couldn't join us tonight. He always skips my picks, like he skipped the Rush one, and now
That
he's
is true. That is true. I've never
mine,
put
dude.
that together. Yeah, last week the Rush one. Yeah,
Giving me shit for liking Sammy Hagar, but I don't know what's going on. But man, Jerry, what's going on, brother?
nothing, man. Just living life, man. Doing pretty good, actually. Can't complain.
All right, you want to say introduce our guest because that isn't Mike.
Sure, sure. No.
Right. I just saw that.
We got the talented, beautiful Kate Dorè, man. It's always great.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh yes. Then I met this guy at Rocket Pod, man. A really cool dude, man. First time having him on the show. Bill Roseberry, man. How you doing, man?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm not Mike. I'm actually on my Metal Mike Tyler's computer right now. So yeah, so yeah, thanks for having me, guys. So I'm excited to be here. So I think you guys do a good job. I listen to the show when
Thanks,
I can.
man.
So
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's your enemy, dude. He's a Cardinal fan.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think they post pictures at the game. I'm a Reds fan, so
Reds fan?
yeah.
Hey, you're having a good year this year. It won't last.
Finally.
They'll lose everybody. Yeah.
Ooh.
They won't pay. They won't pay anybody.
He's right. Unfortunately, he's right. Yeah.
We're 2 minutes into the pod and shots fired already.
Well, he's right. That's not a shot. That's not a shot foul. That's a fact.
Hey, when I met Bill at Rocket Pod, gave a hug. I said, "Dad, nice to see you." And the Cardinals suck.
Yep. My favorite Dodger of all time is Tom Niedenfuer. If you guys know who that is, Tom Niedenfuer is the man that gave up Ozzie Smith's first left-handed home run and a walk-off home run in St. Louis in '85. And then he gave up a go-ahead home run to Jack Clark in L.A. as the Cardinals went to the World Series, beat up on the Dodgers. And there's a funny story. When Jack Clark hit that home run off of Niedenfuer, for years I saw it. As he went by, he flipped the bat up in the air, and he looks into the dugout and he says something. And then he goes around the bases. And I never knew what he said. Then a few years ago, they had this Cardinals thing on MLB Network, and Terry Pendleton was on there. And he said when he hit the home run, he looked over in the dugout and said, "I'm Jack Clark, bitches."
So is that why Tommy went off in the press conference?
Yeah, I'm sure.
What do you think I think about? Fuck Jack Clark.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. And Pedro Guerrero flipping his glove, throwing his glove down in the outfield. That was great. That was all great.
I love Pedro Guerrero. But let's get out of sports. Kate isn't a sports fan, but we had to get that in.
We need fewer sports talk on this.
That's a good one.
I like it. I like it.
I was holding on to that for a second.
All right. So I picked this subject. I'm trying to like get out of the box instead of like doing bands and stuff. Let's like get into doing some song titles. So I picked our 11 songs with girl in the title or girl within the song or her or she or whatever, anything that talks about a girl, a name of a girl.
There's not enough songs with the word broad in it, so we couldn't do it about broads.
I couldn't do it about broads. But before we get into this, we got our BS, man. We always got to have some subjects. I took one of them out because the Queen thing I found out was a kid's album. So Flat Bottom Girls to a kid, but I was listening to music with cuss words at that time, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh.
So I got to go on a little rant because I'm tired of this in our groups, Jerry. When I post a Sammy Hagar post, good or bad, I get called out by all the fucking haters out there. You're just posting this for attention. You're just posting this to steer the pot. Fuck you. I post it because I like Sammy Hagar. I like David Lee Roth. I posted the thing where it says for all the fans of the Rings and the Wings. It was a picture. I said, this is for you because we do have a lot of Sammy Hagar fans in our group. Right, Jerry?
Mark. Come on, man.
No,
you poke the bear with them Sammy posts sometimes. Come on, dude.
No, that's Charles saying Hagar started 9/11.
You post way more Sammy stuff than David Lee Roth stuff.
No, I post a lot of David Lee Roth stuff.
No. come on, man.
Well,
You know, it's okay. I'm not getting
this
on
this
you, man,
post
but come
about for
on.
the Sammy fans, because we got the Mooger Fooger, we got Brian Bellows, they're Sammy Hagar fans, so I'm kind of like trying to give them some stuff. No, if I wanted to trigger people, I go, Sammy's better than Dave. I've done that before just to fuck with people. That was a stir in the pot thing. Or I like the Hagar records better than Roth. I've done that. But doing a picture, this goes out for the people who like both singers, was not a steering the pot post.
Hey, but once you get that rep for doing that, you're gonna always, you know, be ragged on for that. You know what I mean?
I'm tired of saying you're doing this to stir the pot. You're doing this to do that. No, I'm doing it because I actually like Sammy. I know he's full. I've called him out when he's full of shit. You know I have.
At least it's not the circle or chicken foot. So okay, I'll let you go on that.
Oh shit! I'll post some circle and chicken foot to fuck with you now.
Post some U2 stuff. Post a bunch of Scott Stapp stuff.
Oh, I posted his new song that just came out. It was great. I loved it. But that was my little rant. What do you think about that, Bill?
I mean, I don't dislike Sammy. Now, the only Van Hagar album that I like at all is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I always liked that growing up. I hate 5150. As far as Sammy solo, and Montrose stuff, even the Circle and Chicken Foot, I don't have a problem with Sammy. Is he one of my favorites? No. What is he? Can he hold a candle to David Lee Roth? No. But I do like Sammy. I wanted to go see Sammy live, and Mike agrees with me a little bit. Mike doesn't like any Van Hagar. I mean, but for me, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was a good album. I listened to it a lot when I was growing up. So, but my introduction, I just turned 47 on Friday.
Happy
birthday.
Thanks. And so I'm a little younger, and my introduction was I was 8 years old, saved up my mowing money and my allowance, and went to Target and bought 1984 on cassette. And that was my first Van Halen album. And I've always said it, I'm lucky in twofold. Like I was just old enough to get 1984 as it was popular, it was out, and get to experience, Diamond Dave. And then same thing with Metallica. I was just old enough. I got into Metallica when Justice for All came out. So for me, like, 5150 and the Black Album, like, just they're not good moments of my childhood, because I was just old enough to get to see the original awesome stuff. So yeah, but Sammy, I don't have a problem with Sammy. I think it's funny. I don't get worked up over everybody bashing on him, but yeah, I mean, he obviously, the stuff in Van Halen wasn't as good, but I blame a lot of that on Eddie.
Sure.
Not on Sammy. So
the thing is, I'm just like, sure, okay, I like the Roth stuff better than Sammy, but I like the first Roth solo album and most of Skyscraper, and then Hit and Miss on the other albums after Roth. But Sammy put out more of a consistent thing that was actually better than what Roth was doing, and that's why I say Van Halen, Roth, solo Sammy, and Montrose Sammy. It's like that's how I
wouldn't
go
disagree with that. But man, Eat 'Em and Smile is a kick-ass album.
Yes, it is.
Kick-ass
album. That was a perfect album.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I was listening to that Tate Volt or whatever it is, an 88 interview with Eddie Van Halen. And he was talking about, he hated Roth doing cover songs. He hated Diver Down. And what did Eat 'Em and Smile have on it? It had 3 cover songs on it. I think it had 3 cover songs on it. So it's like, he says, I didn't want to do those songs on Diver Down. Says I wanted originals. I had Jump, like Around Fair Warning, already done. And so
I love those covers though too. I thought they did a great job with Van Halen. I mean, I love them, so I'm not going to complain about them.
Yeah, and another thing, I want somebody to find me the thing where Eddie said he got sober and found out Sammy Hagar's lyrics were shit. I've never seen that. I think it's a made up story because in that 88 interview, he says, I come in, I write the songs. Sammy comes in and puts down some killer lyrics, and he wasn't drunk when he was talking to that interview. So he was saying back in 88 that he loved Sammy's lyrics. So I think that's a made up story. If somebody could prove it to me, I'll take it, man. But show me that interview where he said that Sammy wrote bad lyrics. The thing I saw about Roth is that Alex Van Halen said it, and I heard Alex say it. He goes, 90% of Roth's lyrics are shit. And then that 10% is just gold. He says he comes in with a lot of shit songs, but that 10% that we pick is gold, you know? So, and he said with Sammy, it's a lot easier. He'll come up with stuff on the fly with us. Roth will bring it in separate, you know? So that's pretty cool. What do you think about that, Kate?
So thinking about this, not my band, not really my choice of genre of music, but I could say Sammy had some pretty big hits with them. And let's not forget the infamous Pepsi Clear commercial when they had It's a Sammy song. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it because
What?
Crystal Pepsi right now.
Crystal Pepsi. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
They did, yeah,
that
right
was-
now. Yep.
I mean, if you think about it, quite a few of their hits for Van Halen or Sammy ones. So I don't know. I don't really listen to them. I have Van Halen 1 and 2. I don't know. Not my kind of music usually, so I can't say too much, but definitely a few of their hits are Sammy. David Lee Roth at the time in his golden era, you're not beating him. I mean, that's like one of the best lead guys ever, and like energy and dancing and being a maniac on stage. But I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it. That like I don't listen to him enough, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
I just tired of people saying it's drama or a shit story.
But
If I do a shit stirring post, you'll know it. Go ahead.
No, I don't think, you know, and sometimes it is funny to get comments going. I mean, that's a lot more activity. And like, if you're anyone who creates any kind of media to put out there, you want activity on it. So why not
Thank
stir
you.
the pot once in a while?
Good point. Good point.
Thank you.
uh,
I tell people, they go, "You're stirring the pot." I go, "Yeah, I have a podcast." Hello.
you need to be contrarian sometimes, and you get more comments and more views. And I mean, if you're any kind of digital creator, that's the whole point. So
I was going to say, does it
Mhm.
fall under the Howard Stern and Jerry Springer and
yeah, I mean,
Vince McMahon idea of
Howard Stern, like
no
one
bad,
of the most. I mean, it's a radio show, but I consider it almost a podcast. Like that's his interview show is like pre what podcasting is, basically, you know. And being contrarian like he is, that he asks those questions that stir the pot and putting things out there, putting content out there that stirs the pot, like it's getting attention.
Well, I look at him,
It's one of those things.
Vince
Yeah, Vince
McMahon,
McMahon is
and
like,
and then Jerry Springer is like no publicity is bad publicity.
yeah,
That is true.
it's getting attention, and that's like a little kid acting out in that, like you want the attention. So if you aren't getting the attention by being good, why don't you be a little sassy once in a while and you get the attention that you're craving?
Well,
But-
Ian Wadley always puts up
Yeah.
when I do something, he puts up someone wants attention. I go, "Hello, I do a podcast."
Like we're on this because we want attention.
Yeah, it's like, I need to, man. Jerry don't stir the pot enough. I want him to get on there and start fucking around. You know, he's got a lot of shit to say, man. He could say a lot of shit about music he don't like. I'm waiting for that, Jerry. I'm waiting for you to start talking
Well,
shit.
you
can
see, you
have
catch me
a-
in my bad. You've caught me in my bad moods when I've posted shit. So
Yeah, but that's on your
I'm
own
in a bad
page
mood,
about
I'll say,
other
who wants
things.
to argue? Damn it, who wants to argue right now? Let's
I'm-
go.
That's
I
right.
only will come at people when it's something that genuinely is a legitimate complaint that I'll come
Yeah.
at
I-
someone.
I'm
But
not-
otherwise, I'm like, let
Yeah,
people
I-
like what they like. It's not hurting me. If they're
I
not
agree.
forcing me to listen to it, I don't give a shit what you listen to. Like,
I 100%
Whatever.
agree with you.
I
That's
sit
why I
there-
Yeah.
don't do it.
Charles posts Sammy Hagar's the devil, I put laughing emojis on it. It's funny to me because he's in their head so much. It's like I put up a post saying, let's see how many Van Hagar haters could not put this, because I put a thing up. This is for Van Hagar fans.
Yeah.
Don't post a hateful. I got 2 of them. I said, you could, James West didn't help himself right there. I knew I was a test. I even said this is a test for the haters out there. That was stirring a pot post, right?
See,
that's
specifically stirring the pot.
Yes,
calling
that
it
was
out.
on purpose, but the
Calling
one
it
I
out.
put up
But
with the honor of both singers wasn't. So
no. And I think, I think a lot of us are really fair in respecting other people's musical tastes and things. I don't see us like directly attacking anyone. Like, not in, you're playing it as like a funny thing. It's not a malicious intent behind it. You're just screwing around, it's horseplay online. Like, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's funny. It's, you get someone's goat and it's like, why are you so serious over something that's just music? Like, it's supposed to be enjoyed. And if we're just screwing with each other or teasing each other on something, like, that's whenever I bring up U2 or Scott Stapp or something to you and give you a hard time.
do you really
I
hate
like
U2?
Okay. No, I love you. No,
Oh.
Joshua Tree is one of it's a phenomenal album. I can't even tell you how many times I listened to it. And when they came through Detroit with that tour for Joshua Tree, I bought tickets and took my whole family to it because my mom was obsessed with it. I probably listened to it like, I need to send away a NASA to calculate how many times I've heard that album. So no, I don't genuinely dislike U2. U2 is another one of those bands, like, he gets picked on like Nickelback gets picked on, and he's a nice, good human. The whole band donates so much money and does so many good humanitarian acts. Like, I don't know why it's fun to hate them, but people are funny like that. People just want to pick on them.
People hated them so much they made up something about every time you clap somebody died. He never said that. Yeah, he never said that.
It's crazy. There's like weird conspiracies get made about these bands when people, like, it becomes popular to dislike them. And I don't know.
Seen South Park? He's literally a piece of shit.
So well, that's when, like, one of the older South Parks where all he says is like, yeah. Like, he can't.
He's got his cowboy hat on.
Maybe that's where these kids think he's pretentious,
episode,
man.
Right?
South Park told him he sucks. So.
That was the biggest crap episode, right?
Yes.
Stan was doing,
But he's like, he is like a caricature of a person. Like, Bono is definitely like a caricature of a person. So I think people get annoyed with that or something, but I'm like, he's genuinely a good person. The whole band does amazing things for the world to help people. Like, it's just one of those funny things. Like, why does everybody hate Nickelback? I don't know. Like, their first album,
they sound generic,
but it's like, it becomes that like butt rock or whatever people want to call it. And like, I don't like Nickelback, but that's not my kind of music. But I'm not going to be like, oh, they freaking suck, blah, blah, blah. But Jerry and I talked about this the other day, that I'm like, people just think it's cool to hate someone that becomes like, they become like a caricature of themselves. Because my example I always bring up is like Guy Fieri. Like, everyone loves to shit on him. And it's like, he's not a bad person. He's just like so eccentric. I think people get annoyed with him being a personality. And it's like, that's just who he is. That's his whole base of like what he's built his empire on, is his like caricature of himself when he's on screen. So I don't know.
Plus, he's a great friend of Sammy Hagar. So there you go.
right.
Yeah, they have Santa
bringing it back.
tequila.
Bringing it back. That's meta.
Of course.
But man, and then we get to Jerry, man. This is your subject because I'm not a wrestling fan. We had 2 wrestlers die in the last.
I know, in a week.
Yesterday,
too.
Terry Funk died, man. Great hardcore
Really?
wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, Bray Wyatt died. Bray Wyatt was
he was young. How old?
38 years old.
36.
Now,
36. Okay.
Now, who was his dad? Because his dad was a
Barry
wrestler.
Windham.
Barry Windham. That's right. Yeah.
I think his real name was Wyndham. Actually,
yes.
First name Wyndham Rotundo. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a shocker because I know they say he was out for undisclosed injury for a while. And I'm like, all right, well, he'll be back. And then I just saw a post on Facebook that he passed away. I'm like, wow. I mean, it's young.
I had not heard that.
Yeah, shame. It really is.
Terry
likable.
Funk, I can't believe
Yeah.
Terry Funk lasted as long as he did with all the crazy stuff he did.
Yeah,
I mean, over in Japan and everything. He was a wild man.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
sad. I mean,
Jerry goes, I don't know this guy. Yeah, you do. He's in Roadhouse. Oh, he was the bad bouncer.
Yeah.
I remember.
He was also an Over the Top.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he worked for
The
Robert
arm wrestling movie?
Loggia. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, a
hilarious.
Sammy Hagar song was an Over the Top.
Of
There you go.
course.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna keep bringing up
A
stuff
bad
that
one,
leads back.
but yeah.
Oh, I like
Hilarious.
And the worst Kenny Loggins song of all time. Yeah.
But Over the Top's so bad, it's good. Like,
Oh,
it's
me-
I
so-
think.
The
Robert
Meet Me
Loggia,
Halfway
man.
song.
Right, yeah, it's got Robert Loggia. in it.
Robert Loggia, man.
That little kid that played Stallone's son in that, though, was such a little pansy ass. So I don't know. I've been trying to get Brian Davis to do that for Damn Good Movie Memories, and Mike absolutely hates Over the Top. I'm like, you're gonna have us on, and we're gonna do Over the Top.
Well, if
So-
Mike hates
But-
Over the Top, tell Brian to bring me on with you.
Yeah,
I've been on there once, and I'm still waiting for my next invite.
There's a good pod that I love. It's called We Hate Movies, and they do an ep on that. And then there's another one that's called How Did This Get Made? And that one is another one that they do Over the Top on that. And it's so funny because it's like a bunch of comedians.
Is that Kenny
commenting on a
Loggins
movie.
song "Meet Me Halfway"?
yes, Meet Me Halfway. What a crap
Across the
song.
sky.
I like Kenny Loggins. but my God, what a
Oh,
crap song.
I don't like that album, Pooh Corner.
Um, come on.
He was the 80s. He was the 80s movie.
Did your parents not hug you? You hate Pooh Corner.
Well, I was an adult when that came out. Maybe if I was a kid during that. No,
No,
that
I
was-
know it's a legit very weird album. No,
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. No. It's very strange, but yeah.
Just about every
Uh,
soundtrack in the 80s had a Kenny Loggins.
Right, but they were
Yeah.
all great. They were all great
Yeah.
until Over the Top. You know, you had
Even the cat.
Caddyshack
Even
and Footloose.
We
and-
should do an
Yeah.
app that's just stuff that we figure out every Kenny Loggins song on every film and do an episode of that.
We should, but the thing is, I was gonna blame Sammy for the over the top bad Kenny Loggins song, but Sammy
Mhm.
was on Footloose with The Girl Gets Around.
Of course he was.
Right. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, I love Sammy. I know everything. All right. But let's. You have anything else to say, Jerry?
That's good. I mean, it's just for wrestling fans, it's a big loss. It really is. So.
All right,
sure.
man. So I think Dan Aykroyd was right when he said, "Jane, you ignorant bitch." She reflects on early SNL. It says not one thing was funny. I'm gonna start with you, Kate, on this because you commented on that post.
Oh man. That's the best era of any SNL is the beginning, those first few years. And to say nothing was funny, like obviously now they wouldn't get away with half the shit that they did, but it fits the time. Like that's weird when people go back and like renege on whatever they were doing or whatever they said, or like you have to forgive things that aren't PC now for the time that they were done in, unless it was truly egregious. But I'm such a huge comedy fan that I don't care anyone who's on a stage doing stand-up, which a lot of the SNL people are stand-ups too. Like, I feel like you have some basic carte blanche on whatever you're doing or whatever you're saying when it's in jest. It had no true malicious intent. I don't know. I think that's such a ridiculous thing to say because that's some like John Belushi on those. Just some of them, and like Gilda Radner, and I mean, think
Bill
of
Murray.
that first run of all those people, and it's like some of the funniest shit that they ever did at all in all of SNL. Where I feel like there was quite a few years that SNL was terrible. Like I haven't watched it in decades.
I haven't
There
watched
was
it
that-
since Tina Fey or Kristen Wiig left. I think that was
Right.
it.
And I think like, I don't know. I think maybe the guys now, like Weekend Update's probably funny again, but like my favorite Weekend Update guy is Norm. And Norm was so not PC and
No.
called shit out. And he was one of the best stand-up comedians I've ever seen. And he's like one of the funniest people, but just any of the stuff that he did. But like even going back, like we said, that first run, that first few years of SNL, I'm like, how could you say that wasn't funny? Do you are you that like woke or whatever that you want to deny any part of it and be, I think that's, I don't know, that annoys me. Like, it's okay to be woke and be considerate of people's feelings and emotions and things, but you can't rewind to be like, everything back then we did was wrong. That's crazy.
Blazing Saddles would get canceled right now.
Yeah, there's
That'd be,
so
like,
many.
that'd be like
Oh,
a 5
absolutely.
minute.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, they would never let that be put on film. That would immediately be canceled before it even wrapped.
I got sent to the office at work by showing the guy the scene where he goes, "That's a nigger," something like. But
Don't say
I
it.
put the part of that video in
The
where it was bleeped.
little
It was bleeped. He said, "What is he saying?" I can't say that at work. But he
Yeah.
sent me to the
Yeah.
office because
The-
I showed him a video.
but that's literally people in it. Like, obviously the comedians are in it. The comedian in it is black and he is doing it and he's in it and he thinks it's funny, where it's like, I don't know.
And-
I get so annoyed with people being like too woke to allow stuff, because that's when you first brought up that thing with like fat bottom girls. I'm like, is that literally that offensive to anyone that you would cancel it? Like, now that it's come out that it's about a kid's album, fine, whatever, which I think is kind of ridiculous anyway, even if it's a kid's album. But I don't know. I could go on and on about that. Cancel culture annoys me because people need to be able to defend themselves and not
Mhm.
just be canceled. Like,
And
all
you,
those people were in the time. It
you
was
got to
okay.
be smart enough to look at it. Like Blazing Saddles.
right.
He outsmarts everybody else. They're
Exactly.
all
He's the
Exactly.
hero. He's the
morons.
hero in it.
Yeah,
He's the one who saves
They're
all of
all
them. Like,
racist, but he's
I know.
so much
It's a
smarter
parody
than
on
them. I
racism.
mean,
I know.
yeah.
That's literally what they're trying to bring attention
Right.
to.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
the
How
like,
dumb it is. Yes.
usually the super obnoxious woke ass people are white women, which blows my mind, where it's like, why are you mad? You don't even have a right to be mad about something. So that's, I'm sorry for like all woke white women. It's so obnoxious, but I get where people can be offended, but it's like, look into it, watch the film, laugh at the film, see that it's like trying to bring that narrative to light for the time it was released, where it's like,
Mhm.
what was that, in the 60s? Obviously, like, I'm from
70s.
Detroit. Yeah, so it's like
Early
post
70s. Yeah.
post
early 70s.
race riots, post all this shit. Like, I am from Detroit. I know all the stuff that went down. Like, it's just crazy to me when people get into that headspace of like, we're gonna cancel everything because we don't like it, but we really didn't investigate any of it. Like,
Right.
come on. It was made in jest. That's like, Monty Python wouldn't be PC now. Monty Python could get canceled. Like,
Right.
any of those.
I think John Cleese said he's not taking the scene out of this play or something.
No, right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, that's just stupid. People that just want to be offended and want to be mad about something. It's dumb.
It
I don't
is.
I get annoyed with that. And I feel like I could be called woke. Like, I want to be sensitive to people's feelings and not be offensive, obviously. Like, I don't want to be a dick. I want to be cool with everyone. I love everyone. I want everyone to be happy and lead a good life. And then to have these people that are like the hyper woke that are so ready to cancel anyone for nothing. It's so obnoxious because you're just that divisive shit of dividing these people so much more. It's not constructive to anyone. Like, why
Right.
do that? It's not helping anyone.
But the thing is, how do you know if
Well
you're
said.
offending people? They change the rules every day.
That's the thing with the hyper woke stuff that's so annoying. That like Nick, my fiance, is a teacher. He had someone that this is getting in, like, I don't want to bring this all down, but this is getting into the like fluid sexuality thing. And he addressed this person as like whatever pronoun. And they're like, well, I'm not that today. I'm this today. And it's like, well, he's not being offensive by saying what he just
Mhm.
like, you look like this. I'm going to call you this. Like, let me know. And he has hundreds of students in a semester. He can't remember everyone's name, everyone's pronouns. And my fiance is literally the coolest. Like, half our friends are gay, half our friends, like, we have trans friends. He would never be the person to purposefully offend someone. But this person was like coming at him about this. And it's like, you need to not do that, because he didn't take it bad, but someone else could really take it and run with it the opposite direction of what your goal is in that. And it's like, don't do that to people. Be understanding, be sympathetic, be empathetic to someone not understanding all these different things, because it's such a like not black and white. There's so much gray area, and that's the same in comedy. Like comedy, I have no issue of any comedian saying whatever the hell they want to say on stage, or anything like Saturday Night Live or a comedy movie. Like, it's made in jest. It's never meant to be actually offensive. And if it is, then they're wrong, obviously. But no comedian I've ever met or talked to has ever been truly hateful in anything that they've ever said.
But Bill, what do you think about the ignorant bitch?
She just shut up. She just shut up.
Not you.
No,
Just kidding.
you know, I mean, I think, yeah, there's not any good comedy anymore, really, because of that, because everyone's so scared, I think, and Hollywood's put out shit when it comes to comedies, because everybody's trying to be safe. They don't do anything anymore. You know, we bring up Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks. I mean, what's the first movie he does? I mean, and Mel Brooks is a Jewish man, and he does The Producers. And they produce
literally making a film about, not like making a play about Hitler.
Yes. Springtime with Hitler, a musical about Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's about all this, and it's hilarious, you know. I mean, I just watched that again a while back, and I mean,
it's so good.
It's brilliant. You know?
I like
Even the remake.
Both versions are really good. Yeah.
Yeah, the Nathan Lane.
I never watched
and,
the new one.
Oh, it's pretty
Matthew
good.
Broderick and Nathan Lane one's really cute too. They're both so good because they both really done
Musicals.
Broadway in that and musicals.
They
so
got Matthew Broderick from Ferris Bueller from a musical, and Alan Ruck was playing with him in that musical.
Right.
And he brought him in. So for Ferris Bueller.
I feel like even like Ferris Bueller, you probably wouldn't get away with something like any of those. Who did all those? What's the guy's name?
John Hughes.
John Hughes.
Yeah. I feel like a bunch of those wouldn't even be able to be made now, and they're pretty innocuous.
Maybe, but
you know,
I don't think
they're
those,
not.
I don't know.
But they're just like everyone in Hollywood tiptoes so much to like protect everyone's feelings. It's so crazy.
Well, in their defense, they kind of have to. They're going to get.
That's
beat
what
up.
I mean. You have to, or you're going to be. And then true monsters. Like, how long did it take for like Epstein? Not Epstein. What's his name? Weinstein.
Weinstein.
To
Oh,
get
right.
in trouble. And it's like someone who's really a monster. It takes that long for anyone to call him out, but anybody else who's actually not making something that's horrific or doing horrific things is tiptoeing around all the time to be sensitive. It's so crazy.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there was stuff all the way back to like, I read a story about
decades.
Yeah, I read a story about him doing something to Gwyneth Paltrow when like Brad Pitt was just starting out, and Brad Pitt put his career on the line and went to Harvey Weinstein's house and said if he didn't leave her alone, he was going to beat his ass. I can't believe that Brad Pitt didn't lose his career over that.
I love Brad Pitt, man.
But I mean, he threatened Weinstein to leave her alone. And I mean,
it's crazy.
I read that, and that was I mean, he might have just done 7 at that point.
Yeah,
so
he's
was
still pretty new.
Was pretty new, yeah.
He's wet behind the ears still, and it's like the other one that blows my mind is like all the stuff that came out about Quentin Tarantino, and then they're like, oh, he's making his final film. This time it's really the final film, and blah blah blah. And it's like all these horrific things. All these, he's kissed. I don't know if Ace Frehley is going to join him on this one, but allegedly it's his final film. So he like, I don't know, all this stuff where he's a creep to all his like leading ladies, especially Uma Thurman, is like really believable, and really I'm not questioning that happened. I believe that all the things that they said, and it's like, oh, but he's still making his next movie. Like, there's just so much crazy stuff that happens in Hollywood because of money and because of the way these guys can sway things. And I don't know.
Well, that character he played in From Dusk Till Dawn, that looks like him. I'm just saying that looks like something he looks creepy anyway.
Oh, he's he like
looks creepy.
Do you question any of those like accusations? No. He's a creep.
That's him and From Dusk Till Dawn, man.
Well, he's like sucking like Selma Hayek's foot. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's good. It's good to be the producer in the writer.
I wanted to go back to
Selma
bring it up.
Hayek's hot as hell, but I think sucking her toes on film is insane.
Yeah.
bringing up the producers. I could going back to that real quick. I couldn't remember who played the Hitler part in that, and it was Dick Shawn.
Oh, okay.
Dick Shawn was great in that, where he's like the hippie Hitler. I mean,
so funny. Well, in the new one,
man.
I think it's Will Ferrell's Hitler, right?
No,
in the new one,
Will Ferrell plays the Nazi guy who wrote the script.
Oh, that's right.
So,
That's
and
right.
then
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
old
I
movie,
can't remember
that's-
who's Hitler
In the old
in this
movie,
one.
that's Kenneth Mars.
Good
is the
Saturday
name
Night
of the
Live.
Yeah.
actor.
You
But-
should watch that new one. Is cute. It's funny.
Yeah, I need to
You can
check it out. But
It's
yeah,
pretty good,
it's
man.
good. It's good. They did it was very well done.
All right, let's get Jerry into this. What do you think of the ignorant bitch?
Yeah.
Well, I agree with what you guys said. It's like, that was a masterpiece body of work, in my opinion. Why bash it, man? I mean, I agree. I think it was the best era of Saturday Night Live. The second best era was probably the Sandler, David Spade,
Yeah.
Kevin
Chris
Nealon.
Farley.
I
Farley,
like the
yeah.
Farley's like-
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Eddie Murphy was great,
Yeah.
but the rest
Yeah.
of the cast at that time was kind of weak.
Joe
Yeah.
Piscopo was awesome.
Piscopo was
The
good.
guy whose wife shot him. What was his name?
Phil Hartman's the
Phil Hartman.
freaking
Bill
Yeah.
Hartman was the glue of
So-
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
watch, look up, or I can send it to you guys, but anybody listening, go on YouTube and look up his tryout, his like audition for SNL. You see how brilliant that man is. Absolutely insane audition, so brilliant, and how he can pull off so many characters. And like, I don't know, I'll stop gushing about it, but I'll let Jerry finish. But
the anal
it's-
retentive stuff was the best, like the anal retentive fisherman.
oh,
I got
Yeah.
a little engine cozy here.
oh my god, he's so good. And then him on like all his characters he ever did in Simpsons, he's
Yeah.
just he's a genius. He was a comedic genius.
He had to marry a
100%.
Yes, he
crazy
was.
wife, man.
The
Fuck.
anal retentive chef.
Yeah.
That's
Anal
one of my
retentive
favorites.
stuff, man.
He never
Yeah.
cooks
Yeah.
anything. He just is preparing the
Uh,
kitchen.
Well, he never fishes
Yeah.
either. He just says, "Well, I
No.
got my engine cozy here. I got these
Yeah.
little lures here."
Man, shout out to Phil Hartman.
Yeah, Jerry. Anything else,
Jesus.
man?
No, we just, as far as, we're talking about the woke stuff, I'm like, I remember we had like this thing called freedom of choice. If you don't like something, flip the channel, change the station.
Mhm.
Right.
Don't buy it, don't see it. You know what I
Scroll.
mean? I think we forget that. I just think some
Mhm.
people are just bored. And then nothing
Yeah.
fucking better
Well,
to do.
now
than fish in
you
the
have
mouth.
Have you
the
watched-
internet.
Watch Private Parts with about Howard Stern. There's that
Oh,
one
yeah,
line in there. It's
never.
like how long do people listen to Howard Stern that like him? And they go, the average Howard Stern listener that likes him listens for 25 minutes. How long do the
Mhm.
people that don't like him listen to him? An hour and a
A
half.
whole episode.
And they're like, why would they listen to him for that long? Well, they say the same thing as the people that like him. I want to hear what he's going to say next.
Yeah.
I don't know
yeah.
why you would be that mad at yourself, because if I don't like something, I don't listen to
I
it.
turn it off.
Exactly.
I'm not going to waste my fucking time
Yeah.
on something that I don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't like in the 70s, 80s where you had 3 TV channels or just a
Right.
few radio stations. You literally have thousands of channels of
You
shit to
have-
look through.
I
It's
remember
the
when I
age of
first got cable,
information.
man. That's cable made me skip school and hide from the bus. Seriously, when we got cable, my mom went to work. She went to work. She thought I went to school. Now she would get arrested, but back then, no, it didn't happen. I go to
They
the
didn't
bus
do
stop
checks.
like I was going to the bus. She would leave. I go back in the house, start watching MTV all day.
He's been absent 9 times.
9 times.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And
No,
Mr.
now
She didn't know I was skipping that much school because I kept passing because I did all my work later. But
Oh yeah, to finish that up, people talk about, oh, George Carlin would have a field day nowadays. I don't think he would, because he'd be canceled.
Yeah.
he would be
People like that won't
yeah.
cancel.
Dave
I mean,
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Bill
even
Burr.
even
I mean,
that
they're
short
going
ago.
after Bill
Yeah.
Burr now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Bill
just,
Burr's one that it's like his wife is black. Like
I
what?
know. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
just-
know. People are so funny, and like
It is. This is
I
bullshit.
don't know. People are so sensitive, and like obviously, like I said, I don't want to offend anybody, but when you have that internet is such a guy's and people can put on this facade and attack people and just say whatever they want on the internet, and it's not like it's real life, and it's like it does translate over to real life.
Mhm.
And they feel
That's the
safe
thing that,
behind.
like,
They feel safe.
That's
behind
what
their
I mean. You
keyboard
have
and
that
shit.
like guise of justice by coming on, and you're behind your little computer screen typing, and you can
Keyboard
be
warriors.
Yep.
yeah. It is funny, and like just scroll. Don't if you don't like something,
Exactly.
scroll on by. Like,
I mean,
unless someone's literally hurting someone else or hurting an animal or whatever, like, why do you pay attention to it? Just ignore it.
I spent a lot of time working in local media, and I was a sports writer. And I
Mhm.
mean, there would be people, if you wrote a story that they didn't like, or you said something, or you didn't do
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what they wanted, they
If
would
it
attack.
wasn't
They would
phrased
attack
the
me
way they wanted
online,
it.
or they would
Yeah.
attack. I get a call.
Yeah.
I didn't cover what they wanted me to cover, and they would call me or email me and tell me that I should lose my job. I had a lady
And
call
it's
me
like-
one time and said, "Why didn't you cover this soccer tournament?" And because her son played soccer, and I was like, "Well, because we had one local team in it, and I was covering a golf tournament that had all our local teams in it." And she yelled at me, and she goes, "Well, that makes sense."
Like, I'm still mad,
Yeah,
but you're right.
I know what I'm doing here. I get paid to do my job,
Yeah, people are so crazy. It's
Yeah.
just so funny. I
All
don't know.
right.
I don't know what. I hope it comes around that there'll be a time when it changes that people realize that it's so stupid. And it's
I
like,
know
I
it's
don't
getting
know, with
worse and
social
worse.
media.
it kills me when people, they don't have a hobby, they're bored and they have nothing better to do than go and be a troll. And it's like, why
Well,
would
social media has made it so easy to do
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of great stuff. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for social media talking to you guys.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there's
we have
also
good
there was a
stuff.
lot
We
of
get to-
things that I've got to do through social media, but it's also really bad. I think that they should be teaching social media classes in grade school. They need to get kids early on to understand it, just to not put everything out there, to just kind of be smart
Right.
about using it, because people aren't. There's adults that aren't smart about it,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
People are
just
so funny.
yeah.
I hope they can break the cycle of like children being addicted to social media, and there's like a really big problem obviously with internet bullying and things, so I'm hoping
Right.
that can be fixed somehow, which I
don't know.
have
I
no
can't leave my
idea.
house without my cell phone now, and
I
I didn't
know.
have one. I didn't have one for like the first almost 25 years of
know.
my life.
I
Yeah,
was
now
like-
I don't
freak out
remember
if I
any.
forget it.
I don't remember any phone numbers anymore
Yeah,
because they're all
I get
stored in my phone.
Right, me too.
I get a reminder
Mhm.
of my average screen time on
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, how did
like
I waste
8
this
hours-
much time? I
8
know.
hours
Right.
and 30
What
minutes.
the hell
a
are you
day.
doing? You need to post more in a group. Damn it!
I don't know. I don't think I'm on there that much, but I guess maybe I am. I don't.
You're
realize.
not into groups. Get into groups to talk shit.
Yeah.
We were just
Well,
saying we have enough of
And
that.
I'll turn around.
Well, not in a
5 or 10
bad
miles.
way.
If I leave my phone at home, I'm coming back 5 or 10 miles if I leave it at home to get it
Yeah.
or so. If it's like 50 or 100, I won't. But if it's
No,
in reasonable distance, I'll come back and get it.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yep. I go back and get my watch, my Apple Watch, if I leave
Yeah.
it, if I'm close enough to the house.
Yeah.
The other day I was halfway down the freeway. I ain't going back. But
Mm-mm.
let's get to another subject. Something that I wanted to talk about on last week's BS, but it was a long episode. People posting, it's my birthday, here's my Cash App, send me fucking money. What do you think about that, Jerry?
Where let me send you the money, please. I'm stupid. I mean, really, come on, man. Yeah, I question half of these GoFundMe's too that you see on there, but that's just me. I mean, I think some of them are shams, but
Yeah, I agree.
it's your
People have-
money. If you
People have
want to
been
do it,
prosecuted for sham ones. People are getting prosecuted for scamming.
it's like giving your money to politicians. I'm like, why? Millionaire, billionaire politicians, and you're giving them your $7.50 an hour fucking money. It's your money. Do what you want with it, but I don't get it. I mean, if it's somebody that I really know, well, if it's somebody I really know, they wouldn't be asking me for money like that. But, I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm not a fan of that. So.
It's like I see these posts by all these girls and even guys are doing it now. I go, man, just like begging for shit. I go, fuck, we're not your mommy. Don't beg us.
Oh, those girls that do like they show off, they're sexy models or whatever, influencers or what they're called.
All those porn posts that are going.
They're always asking, send you money, or they send you the wish list on Amazon. It's like, really? I mean,
just start an OnlyFans like a goddamn adult. Jesus,
exactly.
God.
She'll be.
I tried my OnlyFans, but I didn't get any subscribers. So.
Well, you should have did the feet. You got sexy feet, Jerry.
I do have cool feet. I have been complimented on my feet, so maybe I will. Good idea.
Oh yeah. So, Kate, what do you think about this Cash App stuff?
We talked about this in the chat, and I think it's such horse shit that you drive by a car and it's like, it's my bachelorette party, buy me a drink. Like, bitch, you're gonna be drunk as fuck anyway. Like, stop it. You don't need the money. You don't need to be begging strangers for money. I don't care that it's your birthday. I have animals to feed. There's animals in shelters that need help. There's poor children all over the whole goddamn planet that need help. You don't need another shot bought for you, you dumb bitch. I hate it. It's so annoying. It was my birthday last Monday. I'm not begging anyone for money. I don't care. I'm not that important.
Happy birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you. It was his on Friday, so Bill's birthday.
That's right.
So I just get so annoyed. I'm probably screaming. I'm sorry if I'm screaming right now, but that irritates the hell out of me that people are like that. Like, it's my birthday. I need more attention. No, shut up. You spoiled little ignorant monster.
Exactly.
God.
Hey, we went to an all-inclusive Cardinals game and I refused to drive because it was my birthday. I made the other guys drive.
It's my birthday and I'm not driving.
My birthday. I'm not driving.
No. That's being responsible adult.
Right.
I'm gonna get shithoused. I'm not driving. That's being responsible. You aren't begging anyone for anyone, and you would do the same solid for your buddy when it's their birthday. So that is an acceptable thing to be. It's my birthday, but oh my god, yeah, the bachelorette party or the birthday thing. I'm like, shut up. I hate you.
Bill, what do you think about that?
I mean, they've pretty much said it. I mean. I think I don't get this culture where everybody's asking for money for everything. I mean, I get it. I think GoFundMe started out from a good place, and a lot of them are good. I mean, somebody, has cancer and they don't have good medical insurance or something like that, and they're looking to have some help with groceries or whatever to help out while they're paying for medical. I mean, I had a buddy of mine a while back. He'd gotten diverticulitis and he couldn't work. And he's
people don't understand.
Guy I grew up with, and he was in a really bad place. He wasn't working. He was hurting for money, and his kids threw him a fundraiser. So me and some of my buddies went, and they had like a silent auction, and they did a bunch of stuff. And I bought a bunch of stuff there and spent money and had it at a local bar that helped give him some proceeds, and it really helped him out. So I'm not saying that every body that does that kind of stuff is bad, but it seems like, it's getting more and more like there's people like, if it's I'm not going to go on there and say, it's my birthday, give me money, I mean, or anything like that. I mean, it's got my car broke down, give me money, I mean, that's not a valid reason to go start a GoFundMe account or anything like that. I mean, handle your business a little bit better in some cases. I don't know, that's just me.
When I had back surgery, I wasn't working. My wife was struggling. We did a GoFundMe, and I just want to thank everybody for that, because that paid my health insurance. Since it wasn't coming out of my checks, they billed us directly. Gotcha. We had to pay like a lot of money for the health insurance and the medicine they were giving me and stuff like that. That helped immensely. Thank God I'm back at work, and I just want to thank everybody who donated to that GoFundMe. That really helped my wife out, and I got made fun of on another podcast, which pissed me off about that because it hurt my wife.
You can't help that. You can't help that stuff. Medical stuff, I have no problem with. Car or like I don't know. I get frustrated where people are like, my dog needs surgery and I need $5,000 or something. I'm like, I get if you're really in a jam, but there's some people where I'm like, you're just scamming. Like, if you can't afford an animal, don't have an animal.
Mhm.
Now, I work in veterinary medicine. Obviously, I see this shit all the time, and I see people come into my clinic. They're like, one client literally walks in with like a 4-carat diamond, rolls up in an Escalade every time we do anything. It's so expensive. I can't afford this. I have 4 children. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's not our problem. Like, sell your Escalade. Like,
Right.
some people are just scamming. It's so frustrating.
All right,
But
man.
when you genuinely have a medical issue, like, come on, we can all help each other out. Everybody's got a spare $5. It adds
All right.
up.
I was going to bring up Ted Nugent getting banned off Facebook, but that'll get political, so I don't want to bring that up. And I don't know about those dildos he had either. I don't know what's going on with that.
No. I don't even think that was actually Ted Nugent.
You know, it didn't look like him because
Ted doesn't have a full beard. Ted's got had the goatee for the longest time.
That picture's him. He doesn't look good. That
Sure?
picture's
I don't
him.
know. I don't know.
I saw
It's
him
him.
on a newer picture, and he looked
Maybe
better,
because I
so.
haven't seen him without his hat in a while. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it looked like him to me too.
Did it?
It wasn't a good picture of him. Like I
If
said, he
you
looked
look-
a little bad in it.
Was he
but-
There's
selling Ted Nugent dildos? Was that a
I don't know. I
gas
just,
of his?
I mean, hey, I hope they're for his wife or for girls or whatever. I hope they're not for him because those things look pretty big.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably won't get through anything. It's Ted
Yeah.
Nugent.
Hey, if they're for him, we're not kink shaming here. We're
Hey,
just here to
exactly.
say it's
Whatever-
weird to
Whatever
have
you
them.
do,
when
whatever
you're
you
on a
do in your own home,
podcast.
exactly.
My
Whatever you do in your own home.
background is dildo free. You
Yeah.
make
Right.
sure you put them away before you go on a podcast. That's all we're saying.
I always make sure I know what's behind me before I even start. Because sometimes I'll put something that shouldn't be there on there.
Yeah,
Not for-
like
not for birdies.
those ghost
Yeah.
records you should take down. Yeah.
Oh, shut up! Shut up, Boingo! Yeah.
All right, Scott Stapp fan 02
Yeah.
is your AIM profile
Yeah.
name.
Oh, I'm so
Relax.
stoked. I'm so
Hey
stoked.
man, I
to
was
see
bringing
Ghost.
it back around. You know.
I'm so happy I'm going to finally get to see Ghost on Sunday, man. I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh, you
Yeah,
haven't? Oh, you
yeah,
haven't seen it? They're fantastic live.
And I'm on a
Jerry,
Marth, man. I've always been a fan of Alma and Amarth too, man. So it's gonna be
and they
cool.
were great. When I saw them a couple weeks ago, they had 2 actors come out and actually have 2 Vikings come out and have a sword fight on stage. They
Cool.
had a dragon on stage. Loki
Ooh.
came out on stage. The lead
Awesome.
singer, his name's escaping me, but he comes out with Thor's hammer on stage.
Nice,
It was
nice.
really theatrical.
It
And then
sounds
Ghost,
like it's getting to
Ghost was,
Iron Maiden.
Ghost was sounded amazing. I mean, they've gotten more money to do more pyrotechnics now from the last time I saw him, and Papa Emeritus has just gotten better at working the crowd. I mean, he's fantastic. I mean, so I know they get a lot of. I don't like every song. Some of the stuff on the new album I thought was a little weak. I don't hate it, but you know, they were great live though. I mean, and they're heavier live. Once you see them live, Jerry, you're going to say, wow, they're heavier than I thought they were on the records. Yeah.
They're pretty costly. I can only afford grass seats this time around, but hopefully, they were.
We
I think
sat
grass
Sit on
seats
before
gra-
back,
I
too.
can't sit on grass. I'll
Grass seats,
die.
grass seats are 120 here. So
Oh, do they let you rent the little
yeah,
lawn
you can rent
chairs?
chairs or you bring a
Yeah.
blanket. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you're too old to sit on the grass. You need a chair, dude.
dude, let's fucking a concert, dude. I can sit anywhere, dude, and fucking enjoy it, man. So
Dude, I just saw Foreigner with Loverboy, and Kelly
Loverboy.
Hansen. Kelly Loverboy is really good, dude.
Oh,
You
No.
don't like working for the weekend?
no, I fucking hate Loverboy. Don't get me started. I fucking
Well, they
cannot
cut their
stand Loverboy.
they cut their set in half. They only played 5 out of the 10 songs.
They
I
could
was
cut it
disappointed.
out and I'd be happy. I've seen Foreigner. I really like Foreigner. But there's only Mick Jones is left. I mean,
He
the rest
wasn't
of
there.
us.
he's
He
not
wasn't
even there
even there?
most of the
He
time.
wasn't
Oh,
there,
wow.
but the band was good. And it's like Kelly Hansen, he gets up there and he goes, man, we're up here with no AI, no tapes, no computers. This is just us up here singing live. we don't do that. We think it rips off the fans, and we're here for you. And it was also funny. Jeff Pilson, I guess he has a back problem, so he's sitting on a stool playing the bass and just going like this. But it was funny. They did acoustic set, and they're introducing each other, and goes, "Here is Jeff Pilson. He had a lot of lead singer problems, not me." And then he talks about Don. He go, "We know who it is.
yeah.
It's Don
Don
Dockett." We're all going, "Yeah, it's Don Dockett." But they put on a really good show, even without Mick Jones. It's more hits. I was hoping for more deep tracks because
Yeah.
Warner has a lot of fucking great, like War
Oh,
with
they
the
do.
World. I would like to see War with the World live, man.
I saw him open for Journey about, man, it's probably been close to 10 years ago now, and they were great. They were, and I saw Mick Jones, and at that time he was the only original member left. But they sounded good, and they did my songs. They did Jukebox Hero and Dirty White Boy. Dirty White Boy is my favorite.
They played
Foreigner
both of
song.
those songs.
Yeah.
But when I saw them before this last time, Mick Jones is there. This is the first time I saw Foreigner without Mick. I've seen him 3 times, and Mick was always there. And they did Star Rider, and I was like, yeah. Mick was singing Star Rider. I was going, fuck yeah, I love those deep tracks. It's like Foreigner has so many hits, but they're albums. It's like they're all greatest hits. Girl on the Moon from Foreigner 4.
Yeah.
Any deep track, Lady in Black. It's like, god dang, this band is more than the hits, and people just make fun of them. It's like, even though they're a tribute act now, but it's still cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I just bought tickets not long before we came on here for Queens of the Stone Age. I've never seen them. They're coming to St. Louis. I'm kind of excited about that. See Josh Homme,
yeah,
or Homme. Yeah. Were they good live?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw them in 2019. They put on a good show.
I was a big Caius fan.
I like
and
Caius.
Mhm.
then I like Queens of the Stone Age too. I like
What was
Oh,
another
what was
the
super
new
group
album's
he
pretty
was
good.
in? He was in that other super group.
yeah, with Dave Grohl and John Paul Jones.
Yeah, them Crooked Vultures.
them Crooked
Yeah.
Vultures. Yeah,
That
yeah.
band
was good.
rules.
I'd
that
like
was
to see
good.
them do something else too.
Oh,
That'd be
before
great.
John Paul passes. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
But
that was
yeah,
good. They're fun though. They
I'm
did
stoked
when
to
I
see
saw
'em, yeah.
them. They did a lot of like songs for the deaf when I saw them, and that was like obviously the album that I was obsessed with. So it was amazing. You'll have a good time. It was
Yeah, I
good.
got a mess of them coming up. I'm seeing Mastodon and
Mhm.
Gojira next Tuesday,
Yeah.
and then I'm seeing Jeff Tate on Friday.
Oh,
at
he's
the
really
golf
good.
club
I've
here
seen
in
him.
my town. I've seen
Nice.
I got his
Queensryche with
shirt.
Todd Latore, but yeah, I've never seen Jeff Tate. So, and then I got Eric Clapton tickets in a couple weeks,
Nice.
and with Jimmy Ray Vaughan opening, and then I got Queensryche. I got Black Crowes and Aerosmith,
Oh,
and then
asshole.
both nights of Metallica.
I'm
So,
seeing
I got
Metallica.
Oh,
I'm
man.
seeing Metallica tomorrow and Sunday.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
okay.
It's SoFi
What do you
Stadium.
guys? What do you
They're not
guys
here
think
till
of this
November.
Pantera? What do you guys think?
I'm okay with it, man.
I'm
I love-
excited
I'm
about
I'm
it.
excited about it.
Yeah.
I've
mean-
never seen them. I want to hear those songs live.
I
I'm
never
a
got to
huge
see
Phil fan, man.
Yeah, I never got to see Pantera live.
I
I've seen
know.
Black Label Society live twice. I've seen Zach
Mhm.
with Zach Sabbath. Seen him with
Mhm.
Ozzy. I've
Mhm,
seen
mhm.
Anthrax. I know how great Charlie and Zach are live. They were
Yeah.
personal friends with Dime and Vinny. I don't understand why everybody's bashing it. If they
I'm
I
not.
don't get it.
if
I'm
they
happy.
start recording a new album and call it Pantera, I probably have a problem with that. But if they decide to do
Mhm,
something
mhm.
together and call it like, something
different
else,
name.
a different
Yeah.
name, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that too. But I don't see any reason why people should bash that, I mean, Charlie
Yeah.
Benante and Zach Wilde are amazing musicians. And I mean, and they're gonna do it justice. They're not
Jerry
going
hates
to
Anthrax.
Mhm.
Jerry
Yeah,
hates it.
I like Fistful of Metal.
But Charlie, do you
I like the
do you
Bush Hair.
disagree that Charlie Benante is not a great drummer?
Hey,
Yeah.
Frank and Charlie were a badass rhythm section, man.
Yes.
They were
yes.
good.
Yes.
My problem, I think, was Joey Belladonna, man. I just couldn't stand the guy's voice. I think
Oh,
that's
really?
I like
'Cause I like-
Joey. I like
No.
Bush
That's one of the
better.
things I love
I
about
I
it.
like the Bush era, and I like Fistful of Metal. So it's like, it has to be the common denominator.
John
you know?
Bush is a vocal god. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, he's good. I like
And
him
then they
better
did
with
that.
Armored
They did that
Saints.
I'm the man shit. I'm just like, dude, man, what the
That
fuck? Was
that
Oh, I
was
loved
that
it.
was funny. I
That was
like
fun.
that too. I like that shit.
I just didn't get it. But like I said,
They had a
Yeah.
little bit of the.
Yeah.
You probably don't. You don't like rap. You don't like rap and hip hop at all, do you, Jerry?
I like
Or
some
do
of
you
it. I like the old
okay.
school rap.
I
was
like
gonna
some
say,
rap
yeah,
and hip hop. So
'cause
I
I
like
know
Public Enemy.
They were into that kind of scene too.
No, I
and
get
think
it.
that
I
may have-
get that. I
yeah,
do.
that was part of
They
that.
did the Public Enemy thing. Bring the
Mhm.
noise. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I didn't
I
like the Run
think-
DMC Aerosmith Walk This Way either. So
Oh, I didn't like
Yeah.
that. I love Run
Mm-mm.
DMC and I love Aerosmith.
so do I.
But
Separate.
together, no, it kind of
Separate.
ruined the song for me. Yeah, separate.
The badass is Ice-T with Body Count. Man.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
badass.
was listening to that
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
The first album,
Mhm.
Love
Cop
that,
Killer
yeah.
came on. You know,
Ice-T was
That's
just
some bad
here.
shit.
Yeah, Ice-T was just here. I think Jerry's main problem with Anthrax is how cool Scotty Ian's beard is.
It is pretty
But-
cool.
Well,
That's
you
just
know,
my
in the-
opinion.
but in the '80s, they looked like dorks wearing those
Oh my
surfer
God.
shorts. Yeah.
Remember when they were on
That-
Married with
Married
Married with
Children? They're like,
Mom's Mystery
Scotty
Pack.
Ian's beard is a little baby beard. Yeah.
They ate Mom's Mystery Pack.
I
I
thought
see,
it was warm. I
I see
thought it was
colors. Let's rock, man.
I thought it was
Oh my
warm.
God.
It just came out of the refrigerator. How come it's warm?
The greatest comedy of all
Ah,
time,
so
Married with
cute.
Children, to me.
Yeah.
Another
So
show
good.
that wouldn't last today if it came out.
Right.
Oh, they would
No,
never
no
be
way.
able to make
Well,
that.
No
it
way.
won for best comedy series all the time. So
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
polls,
Fucking
Mark
hilarious.
hit his
Hilarious.
polls. Yeah, they would
I still
never
got
be
to
able
finish
make
that cartoon poll. I've been lagging, but I'll get to it. But let's get to the main subject. Songs with girl in it, or about women, or whatever,
Broads.
broads or whatever, you know. So we start with our number 11 on this. Kate,
Oh boy, I'm up. Woo, okay.
ladies first, man. It's about you, girls. There
You
you
don't
go.
have to be chivalrous to this broad. I'm just here, man. So I went with Girls by Beastie Boys. This is a song that would not be okay now, but
Do the dishes, to
License
clean up
to
my
Ill,
room.
1986. Yeah. 1986, this sexism was okay. A-okay. So it is a funny song. Even I'm not offended by it at all. I think it's hilarious. They're trying to be funny. So yeah, Girls, Beastie Boys. That's my number 11.
Well, MCA was embarrassed by that later.
Later.
Yeah.
But they're just like, think how young they are when this album comes out. They're just
Dude, they were
goofy.
pounding beers on stage. I
Oh,
wish
it
you
was
would have seen
great.
that shit.
Watch,
It
look
was
on
great.
YouTube and find their tour when they're in Japan, and they are out of control. They are drinking beers on stage. They're like, they get some broad out of the audience in Japan, and he's like humping her on a bed. They would never get away with that now. Never. But it's funny. I think it's hilarious. It's a great song. Girls, Beastie Boys, my number 11.
That is a great one. Bill, what's your number 11?
And I will say that's going to come up later for me, but quite a
Nice.
bit later. I'm
Nice.
not number 11.
I
So-
forgot about that song, and now I'm like, fuck.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
it's so
you,
fun.
to be honest, I was literal on this. So every song I chose has girl in the title. I was very literal. And I got a bunch of honorable mentions too that we can get to a little bit later too. But my number 11 is Little Girl by John Mayhall and the Blues Breakers.
Oh, I thought it was
Thanks.
going to be Oingo Boingo. Oh, go
No,
ahead.
no. So these are some stellar musicians here.
Oh,
So,
good. Danny
yeah.
Elfman is it? Come
Danny
on.
Elfman couldn't hold Eric Clapton's jockstrap.
Steve
or
Bartek
any of
is
the
a
other
great
people that are in
guitarist, man.
So,
Steve
yeah,
Bartek rules, but I didn't pick an Oingo
do you
Boingo
know
one.
who John Mayhall is?
Yes, I do.
Does
And the
everybody
Blues
here know who
Breakers,
John
Eric
Mayhall is?
Clapton
Okay.
was in.
Right.
Me,
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
Brian
More than
Davis
just-
was on our podcast. We
Right.
did an episode.
More than
Yeah.
just that, though. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this song. It's a great song, but this particular one was John Mayhall, who's the father of the British blues. You got Eric Clapton on guitar, and then
Yeah.
you have Mick
Mhm.
Fleetwood and John McVie also playing.
Yeah.
They're
and
all
then-
murderers.
And then do what?
they're all murderers. Like, how
Yeah.
do you beat any of those
Oh,
musicians?
Right. And then of
They
course,
kill it.
you move on with Mayhall, and after Clapton left, that's when Peter Green came in, and that's when you got
Mhm.
Fleetwood Mac,
Mhm.
because he named the band after his rhythm section with John McVie and Mick Fleetwood, who were in there. And then replacing Peter Green when he left was Mick Taylor, who went on to the Rolling Stones. So
That was Bob Welch.
basically, huh?
Wasn't it Bob Welch after Peter
Later.
Green?
Oh, you may be right, but Mick
Bob
Taylor was in
Welch.
there, I guess, a little later too. Mick Taylor
Later.
was also guitarist for Mayhall too.
Okay.
But so he basically Blues Breakers, influenced a lot of music throughout the years with Clapton and all the different projects he did, and Fleetwood Mac and the Rolling Stones ultimately. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of love to that. I got to see John Mayhall live a few years ago here in town where I live. He played at a little theater here, and Mike and I got to shake his hand. It was really cool, and he was shocked. I think Mike and I were there with a couple. Jason Reith was with us. That was with us down at Rockin' Pod, and he was shocked to see guys that young there to see him, because he was, I think, 87 years old at the
Yep.
time, or
Wow.
86.
Yeah.
He's still alive, and he played the guitar, he played the harmonica, and he played the keyboards that night, and he was singing, and he was great. He was great. So
Nice. So Jerry, you're number 11.
My number 11 is from the Mighty Kiss,
No.
off the Hotter Than Hell album. There's actually a song that they did pre-Kiss called in their band called Wicked Lester, which their version's pretty bad. It's got like flute or something in it. It's like really. I'm talking about She.
oh
That's a good
yeah,
one. I was
great
hoping
song.
I
Cool
thought Beth
guitar.
for a second. Go,
Just a
no.
great that still might come up later. You never know.
Oh God, no.
That's a cool tune, man. It's got a great riff to it, man. I love the duo leads on it, man. Kick-ass song off one of their better albums. And a lot of people think that album is way produced badly, but I don't think so. Man. I think it's fine the way it is. And people rag on Pete's drum playing, man, but that album, man, fucking Pete's nailing it, dude. And that song is one of my favorite Kiss songs, so that was pretty easy one coming up with that one.
I've heard that original one too. It's pretty crazy. It's weird,
Pretty
man.
weak. It's got
I did not like with the flutes. Yeah, I can't
Maybe that's
believe
why
how
Charles
shitty
doesn't
it
like
was.
flutes, because Kiss did a flute.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, Charles, get back to me on that one. Is that why you don't like flutes? Because I think Jethro Tull rules. But,
I was literally
no.
just gonna say he really hates Jethro Tull, apparently.
I know. I don't know why. Hi, little girls with battered heads. God dang. What that fucking lyric, Aqua is amazing. What's wrong with you? Even Farm on the Freeway is good. But I haven't heard the new Jethro Tull album. They do have a new album. But I wanted to get this out of the way for Bill, because he kind of teased about, hey, Charles, thank God we're not going to hear any fucking Oasis girl songs, but I'm probably going to have to put up with the Duran Duran song from Mark. And so I had to get this out of the way at number 11. I'm stirring the pot here. This is stirring the pot. But I do love this song, and it's fucking first time I saw nudity on a video. Fucking a band, Duran Duran, Girls on Film.
Yeah.
Fucking classic fucking song from the first album that I picked as my number 1 debut album, because I knew they were going to pick Van Halen or whatever. But that is one of my top debut albums of all time anyways. So
and
Girls
I'll give you some men on film for that. Hated it. Yeah.
You didn't like the video with the models coming out with the boobs?
I don't even remember that. By the time I got MTV, man, out in the country where I
was on
lived,
HBO, because MTV couldn't show the nudity.
Oh, well, I never had HBO growing up, but I didn't even have MTV till like 92. So, or have cable at all.
That's
the only video I ever saw with nudity was an REM video. Pop song
89.
Pop song something. 89, something like that. Yeah. They had 3 background singers. On the regular video, right? It was on the regular video, they got the little black box covering their boobs. But there's like a lot of uncensored, videos.
Dude, you've never seen the uncensored video of Girls on Film by Duran Duran?
No, I have not.
You guys need to go watch it if you like girls.
That was the first time you guys ever saw boobs.
Guess I'm gonna have to watch it now if I like girls.
Dude, my grandpa walked in when that
Just
video
mute
was
it,
on. I go,
Jerry.
all right, yeah,
I'm
that's
sure my
Jerry's.
wife will love that.
Well, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to get into that now. But we get to your number 10, Kate. I want to hear it, and I'll be right back.
My number 10 is My Girl by the Temptations.
That's a good one. I'll be right back.
Like I said, I am just outside. I can't take credit being born and raised out in Detroit. I'm born and raised just outside of Detroit. Obviously, Motown is a huge influence on everyone, even the surrounding suburbs of Detroit. This is Temptations, and it's the Temptations sing Smokey, 1965. Their rendition of My Girl's the rendition of My Girl. There's nothing else. So that's my number 10.
Yeah, Temptations. What a great
Yeah.
band. I mean,
Mhm,
they got a great.
mhm.
That was an honorable mention for me.
Oh
but
my gosh, yeah.
I mean, man, I love it too. So
Yeah.
You're in the Detroit area, right, Kate?
hmm
You're
I
in
could
Detroit, actually.
I am across the street from Detroit technically, but to be downtown proper, I could be at Motown Museum in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not
How cool would
actually
that
in
be?
Detroit. I'm in a neighborhood called Redford. But
Gotcha.
yeah. I'm born and raised in the suburbs of Detroit, I can say. I don't want to take any credit or stolen valor for saying Detroit proper, but yeah, Motown is such a huge influence. And I feel like it reaches out so far, it doesn't matter where you were. Like Motown's such a thing, and doo-wop is such a thing. Like, no matter where you are, you know all the songs and you know every word to My Girl. And
for sure.
that's why it racked up on this list for me, because this was a hard list, honestly. This was
It
a
is.
harder
There's
list for me.
So many songs I could have picked.
I probably was narrowing them all down. I had a bunch of them, but narrowing them down.
Yeah.
11 was
Yeah.
That's what my issue was. I could think of a ton off the top of my head, but figuring out an order of them and then ranking them.
It took me a little while too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the Daryl Hall and John Oates version with Eddie Kendrick and Ruffin?
Yes, I have.
Mhm.
Yes,
I have
Yes.
not. I'd check that out.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they did them, Daryl Hall and John Oates, with those two live
Yeah.
at the Apollo. So you should check
Oh,
out
wow.
that.
That's
Yeah.
when they said.
Yeah.
That's when they said after that they retired for a while. That's what
Yeah.
they wanted to do. Their
Yeah.
whole career is play with the Temptations.
Yeah.
Play the
Oh,
Temptations.
wow.
So,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, the Temptations is the best version, but there are a lot of other good versions, like well done ones. But
Do you know
For
the
me, it's
letter?
the
Have you ever heard?
Temptation.
Have you ever heard of the Letterman?
yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm seeing Metallica on Friday, and then we're going to Vegas at 6 a.m. to see my wife's friend who's in the Letterman. He's one of the singers in the
No
new version
way.
of the Letterman. We're going to Vegas, and then we're coming back Sunday morning. Then I'm going to Metallica on Sunday. At
Oh
least
my
I'm off on
God.
Monday. But
Wow.
Holy shit.
it's gonna be
Wow,
a
yeah.
long weekend.
That's gonna be a whirlwind weekend. Yeah.
Oh man, but
It'll be worth it. It'll
yeah.
be fun.
I've never
yeah,
done that
but-
before, so it's gonna be cool. So
Yeah.
Bill, what's your number 10, man?
all right. I promise I'm not going to have all blues songs on this list, but
That's fine
I'm
with
going
me.
blues again, and I'm going with
I hope Brian
the
Davis is
great,
watching.
the great Muddy Waters at number 10
Ah.
with Good Morning Little Schoolgirl.
Wow, that's a good one.
You know, I mean, yeah, I
Mhm,
mean,
mhm.
love Muddy Waters, man. And I mean, he was so influential on so many guys, so many rock and roll guys in the 60s and 70s. And
Mhm.
so,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, Muddy Waters to me is like, I mean, he was considered blues, but he's kind of one of the fathers of rock and roll too, you know, because
Yep.
he's had so much
Yeah.
influence on everything. So,
That Electric Mud album influenced so many rock musicians, and
mhm.
he's influencing people like that Kingfish
Right.
Ingram.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Yep. Muddy's amazing.
Yeah, man. If you ever want to check out a
Mhm,
great
mhm.
show, it's Wednesday nights at what
Mhm.
is it, 8 p.m. East, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern on that metalstation.com. You got the great Brian Davis.
Right,
The
the
Bad
Bad
Beat
Beat.
on that
The Bad Beat, yeah.
metalstation.com. His first set is all blues. It's called his dad. He gives a blues block to his
The
dad.
Bob's Blues
The
Block.
Bob's Blues block. So maybe
I
check
love
that out, Kate.
it. Yeah,
Brian
I
Davis
should.
is
That sounds
amazing.
good.
I hope
Cool,
he's
I
man.
watching
love
this.
blues.
Cool dude.
Then
That sounds really cool.
we get to your number 10, Jerry.
My number 10 is a band I think Bill said he's going to go see here in a little while. Off one of my favorite debut albums, Shake Your Moneymaker. She Talks to Angels. What a beautiful fucking song that is, dude.
Great
it's
song.
Still when I hear that song, man, it like, it makes me like just listen to the song, and it's a very cool emotional tune. I love that band. That whole album is brilliant in my opinion. But that song, the guitar playing with the vocals on that, is just the Robinson Brothers rule on that song.
His
man.
voice. Yeah.
Man.
Oh my God.
Just incredible on that song. And
I saw him do it live a couple years ago, and it was amazing. I saw him do
them
the whole
twice.
album.
I saw
Shake Your
them
Money
twice in the
Maker.
last 3 years, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing
Just
band.
incredible band. I mean, it's not the same band that they had on this album, but
You
No.
got the brothers though.
yeah. I had to play
Everybody's
basketball. I had to
everybody's
play
pissed off
basketball.
about Ford
I had
not
to play
being in a band.
basketball with Steve. I got to play basketball with Steve Gorman though. That was pretty cool. But
Well, everybody's pissed off about him not being in the band.
Yeah.
so.
but
And Ford.
Anyway, that's my next one. That's a great song. Dude. I love that song.
Dude,
I
you-
thought I was gonna place that higher, but all the other songs I got ahead, I had to be on the list. So.
Hey, how cool was it that first night in Nashville, when we're sitting back there watching the pre-show, and we go out into the bowling alley, and Audley Freed is out there playing from the Black Crowes, the
Yeah.
guitarist.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a chance to check him
I
out?
missed
No.
that. Everybody said that.
Missed
People
it.
were running back there saying
So-
about it, and I totally missed it.
You want to know what's funny?
I was running away from Ian. He was trying to pee on me.
Brian Davis and I shared an Uber down there, and when we got out, Audley Freed was getting out of the car with his guitar, and we didn't recognize him when he asked him where the pre-rock show was, because I thought maybe he was going back there, and he goes, "It's all the way in the back of the building." And then and I didn't realize that's how it was, and then later on, when the buzz started going around that he was out there playing, and we went out and watched him play at the end, and man, he was killing it. He was so
Yeah.
badass on the guitar. And
That was
and I
after
was
all
like-
the shows or before?
they were playing while we were back
Yeah,
there. He
it
was
was-
actually in the
Oh.
bowling alley.
I would have
Yeah,
rather
'cause
been in there.
my wife was hanging out by the bar, and she was
Yeah.
like, ran back there and said somebody's playing. I'm like, some loco pick up a guitar or something.
Yeah.
She
I
didn't know
would
who
have
it
rather
was.
seen that than that
Oh,
that
it
one
was
chick
great.
sing fucking the Colt.
we
song.
we were out there watching that. It was like me and Mike and Bushy and Brian and Brian's girlfriend Lindsay, and I think Ian was out there with us. And
Assholes,
mean,
why
it was
didn't you come
great.
get me?
He
I
was
don't know
busy
where you
thinking
were
about
at.
I was
peeing on
sitting
you.
back there. I saw you back there. You were
Yeah,
back
I was
there.
it
watching
was
them- I was
towards
watching
the
guys
end
that-
we went out
I was
there,
watching
yeah.
them-
Well, you
I was
could have
watching
came
them
and
do
got me.
Wipeout. We're doing Wipeout live on stage. That's where I was.
Fuck. But
That
now I
was a
love.
fun night. That was probably my favorite night of the whole thing, actually, that first night. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it Peel Fest?
No.
Oh yes, how could I forget that?
I think me and
Yeah.
Jerry had COVID at that. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry if you guys got
Figures.
COVID.
Figures.
But then we get to my number 10. I know people think he's lame for we built this city and shit. But Mickey Thomas, I'm not picking Sarah. I'm picking a rocking song when it was called Jefferson Starship. The song is called Jane.
Good
Good song. Good tune.
Great song.
Fucking song rules. When they became Starship, he was a rock and roll, fucking heavy
Mhm.
metal rock singer. Like in Nuclear Furniture was awesome.
Good album.
Even
Good
Find Your
album.
Way Back.
Yeah.
What's that? I reviewed that album with Lee. Like in Modern Times. Like in that one. What's that one song at the end where fucking Craig is just going off on? God dang. They rule. Craig Chiquillo is one of the best underrated guitar players of all time.
It was good.
The guy plays jazz now. He's that good. So I picked Jane by Jefferson Starship off the album Freedom from Point Zero. Good album, except when Katner sings. Always skip Katner, lead singer.
The
She
first
sucks.
song they did together with Mickey Thomas was Jane.
Yeah.
Trivia there
Let's
for
skip the Katner songs. Just listen to Mickey on the albums.
He was pretty much just a figure in the band in that era.
He
Candler
sang a couple songs, dude.
Yeah, but Greg took over most of the guitar work, and Pete Sears did a lot of the guitar work, bass work, and all that stuff. So I don't know. He was more of a.
No, I'm saying, but
did
nobody
you even
talks
miss
about
somebody-
Craig as a
The
top
next time
guitar player.
The next album he was gone, and like nobody knew he was gone. So it still sounded the same. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
But it's like me and you. We love Trevor Rabin. Does anybody talk about Trevor Rabin as one of the greatest guitar players of all time?
He's
We know he
phenomenal.
is.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal guitar player.
Just a phenomenal musician. Not
Yes.
just a guitar
He
player.
did all those freaking Jerry Bruckheimer scores. The Rock and all that. Trevor Rabin.
As long as he
so-
stood away from I don't want to miss a thing though, thank God. Didn't have anything to do with that one.
So Kate, what's your number 9?
So my number 9 is Girls on My Mind, and it's David Byrne on the Uh-Oh album that came out in 92. You guys know my obsession with David Byrne.
I know it.
I
But
thought
is
all
he
the
one of the
albums,
top 10 vocalists of all time?
see, and it's funny because I don't think he's that good of a singer.
That's what I'm saying.
His-
Thank you.
His lyrics and music, obviously, I'm obsessed, which like this Uh-Oh album altogether, I think his vocals are probably the best on this album out of all his stuff, honestly. But one of his solos that he did after Talking Heads, and this is like, I don't know, it's just a cute, fun song. I'll send you guys the music video. It has a really good music video. I have to say, FYI, it is storming like crazy here. I have my headphones on, but I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder or not. If I lose power, I will catch y'all in a minute on my phone. But it is like bonkos outside right now. I can hear the thunder over my headphones. But anyway, the doomsday whistle's going off. We have like a tornado watch right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah?
Shit.
Anyway, yeah, David Byrne, obviously, I absolutely adore him. I love Talking Heads to death. This Uh-Oh album is phenomenal. This song is very fun. The music video is hilarious. Like, it's weird seeing David Byrne trying to be kind of like a sexy dude icon. It's just so funny because he has like a pompadour with the swirl, and he's wearing like a suede jacket, and he's walking around a bunch of broads, and it's just so funny because he's such an awkward weirdo, so I can't imagine him actually talking to women, which is so funny to me. I thought all the songs actually had to be girls in the title or in the lyrics, so that's what my
I was
whole
the
list
same
is
way,
based
yeah.
on.
It's fine.
Which it doesn't matter. I mean, all the ones I picked, they're songs that I absolutely love, and they made the list because I do love them that much. Yeah, I love David Byrne. He's just the strangest creature, and you guys should read his book read or listen to his book. It's called How Music Works. Excellent book about going through the whole history of music and recorded music, and he talks a lot about recording like the Stop Making Sense film, and that's coming out again, which I'm so stoked because they're re-releasing it in 4K. Yeah, so I legit bought a big suit to do a Halloween costume, and this drop of the new 4K I think happens at the end of September. It's going to be in a bunch of theaters, and I think I'm gonna have to pull out the big suit to go see this on the big screen remastered. But they did a drop too. It's a new 2 LP version of Stop Making Sense too, because the one that they released from the film when that came out, there's a couple songs missing off of it, and the new 2 LP is gonna drop, and it'll be fully remastered, and it also includes all the songs from the film. I'm stoked.
Nice.
I love it. The film is amazing. Anyone listening who's never seen Stop Making Sense, please go see it when it's in theaters. You need to see it. It's a legit concert experience. If you aren't dancing in your seat, there is something wrong with you. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll shut up. That was my number 9.
What's your number 9, Bill?
So my number 9 is not an awkward or weird guy. My number 9 is like the man. This dude is fucking cool. This guy is like Super cool. We talked about him early a little bit. My number 9 is the man, Diamond David Lee Roth with California Girls. So
Nice.
that video when I was a kid, I mean, so I mentioned earlier, I didn't get MTV until like 92. So when I was growing up, my aunt would tape music videos on VHS tapes for me. And that was a Christmas present I got. So I would get so excited about my, MTV videos that I would open for Christmas, and I'd go home and I'd watch them, and I'd get to watch Whitesnake, Here I Go Again. And this was one of them that I watched all the time.
It's a great video.
Was California Girls with David Lee Roth, where he's driving the bus, man, and he's just
your guide or something on his
oh
hat,
yeah, tour guide. Yeah, it's fucking great. So when I was doing this, I thought of that immediately. I could watch those old David Lee Roth videos all day long. He was like a creepy lounge singer.
Just a Gigolo was the
Yes.
best video ever.
His
Yes,
cover of
it
Just
is.
a Gigolo is nuts.
The best ever. That video.
Dave TV.
Shout out.
All
Shout out
Dave,
to-
all that.
No.
ATV.
You got to shout out Louis Prima for Just a Gigolo, though.
Yeah. So then Jerry, what's your number 9, brother?
I'm gonna go with this song from the Rolling Stones off their Satanic Majesty's Request album. This song reminds me of my daughter. We used to sing it a lot when she was young. And every time I hear it, I think about her. She's a Rainbow.
That's a good one.
Mhm. That's a
Great
great song.
Beautiful
Great song.
Strings written by John Paul Jones. I think that was before he was in Led Zeppelin. I think wrote that the strings for that song.
Okay.
He was a session musician. That's how
Yeah, it
him and
just-
Jimmy
it-
met.
Every time I hear that song, it just reminds me of my daughter. We always listened to that song and sang it together. One of the first songs. It was just it was a cute time, So I had to include something like that on this list if I could, so I did. And fucking Stones, man. What can you say about them? What a great band there. I know
Right.
people are more. I'm sure you guys are more Beatles than Stones, right?
I'm more
I-
Beatles.
I'm more
I-
Stones.
I'm
Mm.
it doesn't matter to me, and I don't get it. I mean, it's like people that say you gotta like Ozzy, or you gotta like
True.
Dio, or you gotta like Metallica, or you gotta like Megadeth. I love them all. And I mean,
Yeah.
I saw the Stones live. The Rolling Stones are my dad's all-time favorite band. I took him to see him a few years ago, and it was amazing. The Rolling Stones are my dad's all-time favorite band, and the Beatles are my mom's all-time favorite band. So I
Ah,
grew
there
up
you go.
with both of them. Yeah, so
We are a rolling Beatle then.
yep,
Rolling
for
Beatles.
sure.
But Brian Jones was a great musician, man. I mean, my favorite
He
era
was.
is the Nick Taylor era, but you can't, overlook what Brian Jones contributed to the Stones in the early days, man.
Hey, he was
So,
the founder of the band. I mean,
basically, yeah.
yeah. So
That's my number one. Is that number 8?
Number 9. right?
Nine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nine.
Yeah. 999. Now I go to my number 9. Bill, you picked Daily Roth. I picked Van Halen, but I didn't pick You Really Got Me. I picked a song that was an original from 1984 called Girl Gone Bad. I just
Good
let
one.
that fucking solo. That fucking, the way that song starts,
yes.
it just fucking Eddie is on fucking fire before David even has to get into to sing his amazing lyrics. Again, the band is just fucking rolling before he gets into that. It's just one of the amazing beginnings of a song ever for me is Girl Gone Bad. That's my
Man,
number.
I'm so upset now. I didn't even think of that until you said that. I don't even have that down as an honorable mention. That probably should have made my top 11. Great song. Great song.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
That's my number 9. Your number 8, Kate.
Ooh, my number 8 is by a band called Lucero. If you guys haven't heard of them, I recommend checking them out. Indie folk kind of country band, a little rough around the edges, but the song is Lucero, My Best Girl. So you should check that out. I'll post a bunch of these songs because I feel like not everybody knows them.
No.
But My Best Girl, it's a sweet song. It sounds like he's singing about a broad, but he's really singing about his guitar. So it's a perfect old country song, even though it's modern day.
Nice. So what's your number 8, Bill?
So this is one of 2 songs on my list by this band. And and I'm going even more ridiculous. You guys recently covered the album that this was on. You had Bushy on for it. My number 8 song is now I'm going to get canceled now. You're just going to throw me off the show and I do it. My number 8 song is Fat Girl by Steel Panther.
Watch there's a woke white broad here.
I know.
Cancel.
Hey, don't listen to that because we're highly misogynistic in that episode, and it's because it's the source material. It's not like we could not get away from that.
No.
And I just want to
Steel
clarify.
Panther's funny.
I want to clarify that men from Illinois are classier than men from North Carolina. We don't go hogging, as Bushy said on your show. Hogging. We've all gone hogging.
Lord.
Yeah. I couldn't believe he said that. Oh,
that was such a freaking blast doing that.
Oh, I laughed my ass off listening to that episode, guys. And I mean, I've seen Steel Panther live 3 times. I just fucking love
They're
them.
hilarious.
Satchel is the man.
They almost convince you it's not,
I forgot about that.
They're fucking great musicians. They're great.
Yes, they are. I mean, Satchel played with Rob Halford. He was in Fight. Yes. And and Mike Starr was in LA Guns for a little while too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, they're legitimate, musicians for sure.
Yeah. I don't think I'll listen to that album on date night, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think your girl will appreciate it too much, but it is.
She's got a great sense of humor.
They're so funny.
Since you
I went to see. Sorry, they opened for who the fuck? Wheeler Walker Jr., another person who is not PC at all, but funny as hell. Yeah, I saw that. That was amazing.
Well, before we get to you, since you brought up Bushy, Bill, we got to give honorable mentions to 2 girl songs that Bushy would pick. Milli Vanilli, Girl, You Know It's True.
Yeah, for sure.
Cyndi Lauper, and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. There you go, Bushy. That's just
I
for
think
you,
that's
buddy.
his number 1 and number 2. Number 3 would be like
Girls,
Girls,
probably
by Diana Ross.
I was gonna say Girls by Motley
Oh
Crue.
yeah, but the ones I said first, is Girl, You Know It's True. He loves him some fake Milli Vanilli.
He does.
So that's for Bushy. I'm gonna tag him in this episode so he'll watch.
He can hear it.
Oh man. So you get to your number 8, Jerry.
My number 8 is I was gonna throw a wrench in my list and put a song I absolutely can't freaking stand on my list. And how ironic that Bill just mentioned it. Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue. I swear it's on my list. I just want to put a song that I absolutely hate. That song is like the decline of Motley Crue, in my opinion. Theater of Pain was kind of like on the decline, but what a horrid song that was, dude. And it was huge. People loved it. And I'm like, really, dude? This is not Shout at the Devil, man. This is not, I don't get it. But anyway, I wanted to put one song that I couldn't absolutely stand, and that was the one.
I mean, I don't hate that song, but my God, if you guys, I do those tracks of the day for Mike and I's show, the Metal Mike show on Friday nights.
Yeah, you should watch his writing.
Yeah, so we do the Metal Mike show on that metalstation.com every Friday night from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do on our Facebook group page, I do a track of the day every day, and I write something up, and I share it on Freeform and BS Sessions. And Tuesday was Piece of Your Action by Motley Crue. Now that's fucking Motley Crue. I mean, Vince is up there. He knows all the words to the song, first off. And he's telling a story about how they all got laid by some girl at some random bar. It's really juvenile and totally 80s, but I'm watching it and I'm like, it's exactly what Steel Panther does on stage now, and Motley Crue hates them, but they are doing basically a rendition of what Motley Crue did back in the early 80s. And I mean, but it's juvenile and it's dated, but man, is it great. And then when they start playing, they sound great. That was Motley Crue, that was 83 at the US Festival is what I posted the live video from.
Yeah. So Jerry, yours was girls, girls, girls. Mine is gonna be a popular song right now for some reason. Queen, Flat Bottom Girls.
Fat bottom girls.
Flat Bottom Girls.
Nobody
Fat
wants them.
bottom. Fat bottom
Nobody
girls.
wants them flat bottom girls.
Yeah.
I
no.
mean fat bottom girls, man. Oh, sorry. I wrote it wrong real quick. So I changed the song out. That is my wife's ringtone, Fat Bottom Girls. So
Great
Hilarious.
song.
I had to pick that. She loves it. That she loves that song. So I picked. She does have a fat bottom, but so that's my number 8. So then we get to your number 7, Kate.
My number 7 is one called Am I the Same Girl by Barbara Acklin. Great soul song. I was trying to figure out if this was on an album or not, but it's anything that I look up, it's on like Barbara Acklin's best top 20 or some kind of album like that. So I don't know that she ever had a solo release as herself. I can't quote that, but Am I the Same Girl? It's a jam. I will post all these. Any ones that I think that people don't know, I'll post them all because this is a great soul song and I think she needs the attention.
You have got me into a couple bands.
She deserves the attention. It's fantastic. Her voice is like, woo! I don't know. You'll have to check it out. I'll post it because she's so good.
You did get me into Blind Melon, and you got me into the other band.
Yeah.
I
Middle
love Blind
Brother.
Melon.
Middle
Galaxy
Brother.
rules.
Middle
Blind
Brother. That's a
Melon's
good
amazing.
band.
Galaxy
Yeah.
rules.
Shannon
She does
Hoon-
post some good stuff. Yeah.
Shannon Hoon and Blind Melon's like
Yeah.
one of the best lead dudes ever.
I
That's
love
great.
Blind Melon.
Sucks she
Middle
died so
Brother.
young.
Yeah, it's really sad. He's another one that's in the club of like these guys that so talented and had a really sad life. But Middle Brother, for anyone listening that doesn't know them, it's a super group. It's guys from Dawes, Deer Tick, and Johnny Corndog and Delta Spirit. One-off album, fantastic.
It's really good. Yes.
One of my favorite albums of all time, and that's Jerry appreciated it, which was cool because we do on Black Spinner Circle, we do a round robin of like pick your album for everybody else to listen to and rank it. It's one of my favorite ever. But yeah, Barbara Acklin. I will post this. I'll give you guys a bunch of stuff to check out, but she's amazing. Her voice is just sultry, incredible soul singer.
So what's your number 7, Bill?
I am going back to the DLR well, but this time with Van Halen. I'm going to go to Van Halen 2, and my number 7 is Beautiful Girls
Nice.
off of
Mhm.
Van Halen 2. So,
Mhm.
I mean, what can you say about that song? You know, I mean, it's a classic. So
I remember the lyrics in my head. I'm on the
That's my
seaside, sitting,
favorite
just
album.
smoking
That's my-
and drinking. I'm ringside on
Yep.
top of
Favorite
the
band
world.
now.
Top of the world. Yeah, that song just sticks in you. It never leaves
Oh,
you.
yeah. Great.
That's a great pick, dude.
Yeah.
That's the lyrics for that song. With Girl Gone Bad, it was just the riff that Eddie was starting off with on that song. Lyrics, David Lee Roth was genius on Beautiful Girls. That was a great pick.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So anything else, Bill?
No, I mean, just like I said, there's not a whole lot you can say to it. You just said it. I mean, it's just a great
Right.
song. That early David Lee Roth era Van Halen, there's not much bad. I mean, it's like that and you know, I think Bon Scott era AC/DC is the same way. You can't really say anything bad about it, you know, or Ace Frehley era Kiss, you know, for the most part, you know. So yeah, there's just those certain bands when they had those certain guys in there, they were just gold.
Except
You know?
the Elder.
Yeah, that's true. I
I
shouldn't throw
come
Ace in
on,
there.
I love the
I'm
Elder.
sorry,
Come
no.
on.
had to make sure on that one. Bush is
Right.
going, I love the Elder.
Oh, I
So do
know.
Let's go, Bushy, man. Me and you, man. We love the Elder. And Charles.
Jerry. So what's your number 7, brother?
My number 7 from the band. When you think of great harmony bands, you think of the Eagles. But these guys definitely matched them, I think. They're great harmony singers. Band called the Little River Band.
Ooh,
A song called
yeah.
Lady.
That's a
Mhm.
good one.
Beautiful tune, man.
Good song. Australian
Outstanding-
band.
Yeah. Outstanding harmony band they were, man. One of my personal favorites, actually. There's a band going around America that's like calls themselves a Little River Band now, but it's not really the Little River Band. All the original members have long since retired. There's a big legal thing going on with them too in their music. But yeah, I mean, what great harmonies that band had, dude. Just about every one of their songs. I mean, you know that song, you know, Cool Change, Lonesome Loser. I'm sure everybody knows that one. Just loaded with songs that I think have been forgotten for the most part. You don't hear nothing about them anymore, and they're great songs. They have some great albums. So anyway, that's my number 8, Little River Band, Lady.
Number 7.
7. Steve. I'm not good with the numbers, you know. I'm just
all right. So then I get to mine. I don't know if Jerry's going to pick this later, but I'm picking Led Zeppelin, Going to California. It says he has
the girl on the
flowers in her hair.
Oh, in the verse. Okay.
Yeah, so it has her. It talks about
you really brought it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, Going to California, man. That song is beautiful.
And
that's the only song I like by Sandy Denny from Fairpoint Conventionally.
She's not on that song. You're thinking of Battle of Evermore.
No, Sandy. Oh, well, she's on that. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Battle of Evermore. I just had to get a Fairpoint Convention dig in there.
The song was actually written about Joni Mitchell. So
yeah, we got to get Lee back on the show so I can make fun of Fairpoint Convention again. I missed that. So that's my Going to California, Led Zeppelin, and then we get to your number 6. Kate.
My number 6, Girl by the Beatles off of Rubber Soul in 1965. I love this. I think it's one of their beautiful, weird, psychedelic, still a ballad somehow, but I love this song. Definitely one of my top Beatles songs.
It was almost my number 1, but it got taken off the list for another Beatles song.
I don't think I could do a list without a Beatles song.
me too. Me too.
I don't think I can do that. I don't know if that's possible, but anyway, yeah, this song is beautiful. The lyrics are great, and I love when they were getting into their psychedelic era. There's the one that I like the most, obviously. So I had to have this somewhere on here.
I got a Beatles song, but not that. That one was almost number 1, just letting you know.
It's so good.
The great pick, man. And then we get to your number 6, Bill.
Well, maybe I took your Beatles song because oddly enough, I have a different Beatles song at number 6. I had Girl on my list as one of my honorable mentions, but the song I'm going with is You're Going to Lose That Girl off the Help album.
No, that's not mine.
So,
yeah.
That's a great one too.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You know, Charles was sitting here going, Beatles, Beatles, Beatles. He's like, yes!
I think
don't miss when it comes to Beatles. Charles don't miss any show or any opportunity.
They're the greatest band of all time, in my opinion.
He just missed one of the great, because everybody's going to pick all these Beatles. There's probably a lot of Beatles honorable mentions. So he's like going to go, his head's going to explode. Funk. I missed that episode.
Yeah.
I love you, Charles, man. But that's a good
one,
man.
Yeah,
you can't really go wrong with the Beatles. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, they did so many great things and so much experimentation and music. They really picked up what Buddy Holly was doing before he died. I mean, he was starting to do a lot of experimentation in music, and I think when he died, it kind of stunted where rock and roll was going, and then the Beatles came in and they picked it up and just kind of carried on what he was starting to do before that.
Bill Haley and freaking you know, the guy I can't remember, Buddy Holly lived. They were like rock. They were like
it wasn't Bill Haley, it was Richie Valens.
Richie Valens. But I thought the Big Bopper.
Big Bopper was on the plane
Big
crash.
Bopper died early and he was on that.
Yeah. But Richie Valens was only 19, I believe, and I think you know, Buddy was only about 22 or 23. I mean, and he was starting to experiment with orchestras and doing a lot of the things that the Beatles were doing later on. I mean, and the Beach Boys a little bit too, obviously with Pet Sounds, but they were chasing the Beatles, I think, at that point.
Well, the Beatles said Pet Sounds inspired them. The Beatles said that. that they heard Pet Sounds and they want to make an album
Well,
like that.
I'm going to tell you a story I heard at Rockin' Pod. I went and sat and listened to Bob Berryhill when he did his from the Safaris, who was down there. He was on one of the guitarists on Wipeout.
Mhm.
And they were so big, and with that song with Wipeout, they were touring in Australia with the Beach Boys and Roy Orbison and some Australian band, and the Safaris were the headliner at this time. And at the end of the tour, they're sitting in a movie theater there. Bob Berryhill's telling the story, and they're watching the newsreel. They're at the movie theater, and the Beatles come on, and they're getting ready to go on Ed Sullivan, and they're showing people go nuts over them. And Bob Berryhill said Brian Wilson stood up and said, "They're just a fad. They won't last." And Bob Berryhill said Roy Orbison just sat there and didn't say a word. And the next day booked a flight to England so he could record Pretty Woman and make sure it came out before the Beatles came to America. So because he knew what they were going to be.
He knew.
I mean, that's why I'm saying, I mean, maybe I don't know the years without looking it up. Maybe Pet Sounds did kind of, the Beatles looked at that as influence, but
Sgt.
obviously
Pepper's,
the
I
Beach
think.
Boys changed their sound a little bit to try and catch back up to what the Beatles were doing. Because Bob Berryhill said our lives were over. The Safaris were done as soon as the Beatles stepped on American soil.
Damn.
It was interesting when he was
But
talking
it's
about
cool
it.
that Roy, Roy ended up being cool friends with the Beatles, and they did a bunch of hangs and things.
Right,
So it's fun
sure.
that they ended up being friends and not competitors.
They were in the two. One of them was in the Traveling
Yeah.
Wilburys with him, George Harrison.
Yeah,
exactly.
Harrison, man.
Yeah. And I think didn't Jeff Lynne produce his later albums too? They're
Mhm.
friends with the Beatles too.
Mhm.
Another person who's in the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a circle there. So Jerry, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is another song named Lady from another one of my favorite rock bands, Styx.
I knew it.
Mm.
Knew you were gonna pick that one.
The great Dennis DeYoung on vocals, one of the premier singers in rock history. The song that pretty much launched their career. And Dennis DeYoung makes sure every interview that we all know that's the song that launched Styx's career, of course. Definitely a shell of a band than they were even a few years ago now. But I still love the band. And a lot of great hits. Good radio friendly.
Cast the Crown rules.
That album sucks ass.
Fuck off.
But yeah, Dennis, man, what a great voice. He still can sing.
Joseph
man.
Staub disagrees with you.
I saw him a few years ago, dude. The solo stuff, man. The guy can still freaking sing at almost 80 years old, man. So props to you, Dennis, man. I think you're one of the best. It Styx is nothing without you, buddy. So I'm on your side of the argument.
How did Tommy Shaw get the job in Styx?
Because he sang the high parts lady.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta tell that story, Jerry. Come on, man. Because that is a great song, and I knew you were gonna pick it. And you know how much I love Styx. I think I like them better than you. You hate their last album. You're wrong. But then I'm gonna get to a group that everybody seems to love. And when I first heard this song, I thought it was gonna be like what the Doors did or what Van Morrison did. But it's their own song. It's like Gloria by U2. It's like Gloria in the fucking Bono's highs on that song are just so fucking beautiful. It's just such a beautiful song with the edges, tones coming in. Larry Mullen Jr. on drums, fucking Adam Clayton just like slapping the bass. It's a perfect fucking song, and they never go without doing this live. It's a great fucking song, Gloria. I thought it was going to be like the Doors or those other Gloria songs. They made their own Gloria. Fucking killer. That's my number 6. So what's your number 5, Kate?
My number 5 is The Girl by City and Color. If you know Dallas Green has the voice of an angel. He is the soft singer in Alexis on Fire. So you guys probably would like Alexis on Fire over City and Color.
Can you just send us all these links?
I'll send you this. This is sweet. It starts off really slow as like a folky kind of funky song, and then it kicks up. Like it kicks up at the end. Very sweet lyrics. It's a ballad. This whole album that he did this year is 2008. It's called Bring Me Your Love, and it's a perfect breakup album. One of those, I'm not super into girly music. This is a great album, regardless of being girly music or not. His voice is incredible. Anybody who listens to Alexis on Fire knows Dallas Green, but he's not the screaming guy. He's the like soulful, beautiful, angelic voice guy. I'll send you guys all these. I feel like you don't know half the songs that I'm gonna have,
No.
but that's why we do this, because I
Yeah,
can introduce
exactly.
you guys to new music.
So I wanted
and
you on here. I know you're going to bring stuff that
you
I
guys-
don't know.
Yeah, and you guys
Yeah,
can
I'm not
introduce
sure,
me
yeah.
to stuff. Introduce me to stuff that I don't know. So it'll be fun. I'll send you guys a bunch of these links. But yeah, this guy's voice. He is from Canada. He comes out. I've seen him, I don't know, 3 or 4 times as City in Color, and I've seen him twice as Alexis on Fire. And Alexis on Fire has like a screaming guy, so it's a lot heavier stuff. No matter what Dallas Green touches is amazing, but he comes out in like a Canadian tuxedo, and he doesn't look like he could have this beautiful voice. He has a big beard and weird long hair, covered in tattoos, and he just belts it out. Voice of an angel. I can't stop saying that about him. I love him. So anyway, I'll let you go. Bill's next. Bill, what's your number 5?
Well, I'll start out just saying some lyrics to this song, and then before I get into it. Hair on your nipples, zits on your box. In Oklahoma City, you're considered a fox. Yeah. I know I taste infected, but it'll be all right. So come on, pretty baby. Suck my balls all night. Yeah. Spit out your retainer and do me right. Yeah. So, and that would be Girl from Oklahoma by Steel Panther. Found a poison laminate inside of your ass. There's another good line out of that song. Yeah. Great acoustic, song by Steel Panther. So
Bushy's like, yeah.
That was a fucking one of the best episodes I think we did, man. With that album.
it was great. It was great. So Kate, you're not canceling me yet, are you?
No, I don't give a shit.
All right.
I hope you know. I hope you know it's a lot harder to offend me than that.
that shirt he's wearing, you should check out that group. They watch us from the moon. They're
Yeah,
really
I
good.
was going to talk about. That's why I wore this.
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it towards the end of the show.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of rep them a little bit.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
towards the
All
end.
right, Jerry, you get to your number 5.
My number 5 is a song that was co-written with Steve Lukather, written with Fee Waybill from the Tubes. She's a Beauty.
Oh,
A great
nice.
I remember that song being on MTV every 5 minutes, man. Just loving it when I was a kid, man. Goofy ass video. I didn't understand it was that weird,
Carnival.
whatever it was. But anyway,
Carnival, yeah.
catchy chorus. I was a big Tubes fan after that. Still am today.
White Punks
That's
on
actually-
dope.
Yeah, I mean that's a great song. They actually have a lot better songs than She's a Beauty. That's what a lot of people remember
God,
by.
yeah.
But anyway, I love that song. So that's my number 6, 7,
5.
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, Prairie Prince is a great drummer, man.
Mhm.
So then we get to my number 5. You got a whole lot of woman, you got a whole lot of Rosie. AC/DC.
Yep.
Nice.
I had to pick that one, man. It's like perfect misogynistic. I'm sorry, but man, it's inclusive. It's
That,
like, what did Nate
What's
say?
that live where they have
Chase-
the giant
chasing the
Rosie?
hogs?
That
Going
giant
hogging.
Rosie
Going hogging.
inflatable.
Yeah.
So
Going
a whole lot
hogging.
of Rosie.
Yeah.
They're going hogging, right?
Where was that huge live festival that they're at, and they have the giant Rosie on the
Donington?
motorcycle? And
Donington?
it's my one buddy Joe. Every time we're over, we're drinking, obviously, and he puts that on at the end of the night. And I'm like, all right, I get it, but it's so funny. The giant inflatable Rosie on a motorcycle, and it's like
Bonds.
these huge, weird boobs and
Yeah.
giant rod. So funny.
Bon Scott era AC/DC was all
Out
about
of
that kind
hand.
of stuff.
It's
Out of
hilarious.
control. Yeah, Bon is out
Hilarious.
of control.
Yeah,
So funny.
I had to pick that song. That song is like, it's like Steel Panther. Steel
Yeah,
Panther.
it's
with
on that level where they like
Yeah,
took off
right.
they went from there and just
yeah,
wrote it
mixed
out.
with Steel
Yeah.
Panther. Steel Panther's Motley Crue mixed with AC/DC. Bon Scott
Mhm,
era.
mhm, mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So
then-
funny.
Then we get to your number 4, Kate.
My number 4 is The Girl from Ipanema. I love that song. I don't know
Great
what it is
song.
about that song. It's Stan Getz, Jal Gilberto. The singer, the broad singing in it is Astrid Gilberto. So her husband is credited on the album, which I think she doesn't really get too much credit, but that's who's singing it, is his wife. 1964. The whole album is phenomenal. If you're into any kind of jazz or Latin music whatsoever, please check that out. Stan Getz, Jal Gilberto. But Astrid, she actually just passed away in June. The woman who sings The Girl from Ipanema just passed away in June this year. So it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know what it is about that song. That's one of those songs that pops into my head randomly and it'll be stuck in my head. It's like such an earworm for me. We were watching, have you guys ever watched the series Mad Men?
Yeah.
So
have
the
not.
like
You never seen
Um,
Christina Hendricks?
Mad
Uh-uh.
Men
No.
later.
Well, you gotta
in
watch
the-
that show. You'd like it. It's like
If-
based.
I'm sure I will.
if
but
you
just
have
haven't
a
got to it.
lot of time to burn, because it's
Yeah.
quite a long series. I love John Hamm.
I
John
do
Hamm's
too. He's
someone
cool dude.
who is secretly funny as hell that you would never know, but he is
St.
secretly
Louis
hilarious.
guy too.
I liked him
Yeah,
in
he's
the new. I
from he's
liked him
from
in the
around
new,
where I'm from.
the new Fletch. He did the new Fletch. It's really
Yeah,
good.
I didn't watch that yet. We just finished. They
Good.
dropped a new season of Good Omens. Did you guys ever watch that?
I want to because I love Doctor Who and I love
Ne-
David Tennant.
Yeah, David
Yeah.
Tennant's fantastic in it.
I'm a
but it's
Doctor Who nerd, man. He's
it's-
back. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, he's fantastic in it, and John Hamm's in this new season, and I love John Hamm. But anyway, this in Mad Men, later into the seasons, he's dating this tall, dark-haired, tan, looks like a model, and I'm always like, when we were watching it, I was like, oh, she's like the girl from Ipanema. And in a random episode, this guy that was creeping on her, like some other guy that was like at a restaurant or something, and he's like tall and tan and young and lovely. And I'm like, it's the thing. Like, I'm not wrong. I literally said she's the girl from Ipanema. And then this creeper in the show starts singing it to her. And just laughing, like, oh my God, she really was. But if you haven't watched it, it's very long. You'll have to take the time to do it. It is worth your time, I feel
It's
like.
good.
If you guys don't know Good Omens or you haven't watched it, it's a series that came up because of Neil Gaiman, and Terry Pratchett is the other person who Neil Gaiman wrote that with. And the first season's great. The second season's fantastic. David Tennant is amazing.
He's a great
He-
actor.
He plays
Best
a
Doctor
demon.
Who. My favorite Doctor
he-
Who.
He plays a demon in it, and his character as the demon is so wonderful. And this season, like I said, the one that just dropped, it's John Hamm is in it, and it's great. You guys should
Who
check
was
it out.
who was a Doctor Who with big long scarf? Who was he?
That was
The long
Baker.
scarf's
Baker.
Matthew.
Baker.
That's when I last started
Um,
watching.
It was
never-
Baker. I
That was a
can't
long
remember
time
his
ago.
first name, but it was Baker.
Yeah, I never
had the
really
hat and the
watched
scarf.
Doctor Who. There's a fantastic episode that, like, I never got super into Doctor Who, but the episode where he, like, what's his name? The young guy,
Matthew
the
Smith?
youngest,
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith. Yeah.
I love him too.
So Matt Smith is credited as like David Tennant, and him are the best Doctor Who's. But anyway, there's a whole episode that is him going back in time to visit Vincent van Gogh. And that's like the one episode I've watched a dozen times because I'm obsessed with Van Gogh. But we were in New Orleans in December of 2019, sitting at a bar. We're at the Roosevelt Hotel, which is like allegedly where Jimmy Hoffa hung out and drank Sazeracs. And I'm like, we got to go to this bar. I want a Sazerac, whatever.
Mm.
Sitting at this bar, who walks in? Vincent van Gogh. comes and sits 2 seats away from me. And I'm like, that's Vincent Van Gogh. And Nick's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you're mental. And I'm like, nope, that's him. And I've had a Cesarac, so I am intoxicated enough to go talk to a stranger. And I approach him and I say, pardon me, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt your night, but have you ever been told you look like Vincent Van Gogh? And he says, yes. And I said, did you happen to play Vincent Van Gogh on an episode of Doctor Who? And he says, yes, I did. And then I proceed to lose my fucking mind. And it really was him. He is an amazing actor. His name is Tony Curran. He has been in a ton of stuff. Right now, they were down there in New Orleans filming a show, Your Honor, where he's playing like
oh, Your Honor, with the guy from
the other character.
That's
Brian,
a great show.
Brian
on
Cranston.
Showtime.
Cranston. Yeah.
Brian Cranston. It's a
Cranston.
great show, man.
So they were filming that, and I just saw him. I'd seen him literally 2 days before I saw him, and we were at a cafe that was like a huge open air outdoor cafe that was a jazz club. And I was like, oh, that guy looks like Van Gogh. And Nick's like, whatever. And then 2 days later, he comes and sits next to me, one seat away from me at the bar. And I was like, that's him. That's got to be him. It's him. Amazing. He's the sweetest man on the planet. He's from Scotland. He was in a million other things besides playing Vincent Van Gogh on Doctor Who and being in Your Honor. He was telling us all about being in Gladiator because he is supposed to be the guy executing Russell Crowe in the Gladiator. And he told us all about that. And Russell Crowe.
Oh,
really
I know
broke
who you're
his
talking
nose.
about now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tony Curran. I mean, he was a gem. He sat and talked to us for like an hour and a half. But yeah, going from like getting into Doctor Who. But I will shut up. I will let Bill do his number 5.
All right. Yeah, you guys had me lost with Doctor Who and all that stuff, but when you start talking about Gladiator, now you're speaking my
Gladiator.
language.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
like,
I was nerding out. My bad.
And I'll get to Mad Men at some point, but I'm
It's-
knee deep in Shameless right now, so
oh, nice.
I gotta
yeah.
get through that.
That's a
so,
great
Yeah.
show.
yeah.
Yeah, it ends
Yeah.
good too, dude. It's good.
Mad Men's a lot of hot broads. John Hamm's hooking up with a lot of hot people,
Yep.
and it's interesting. It's a cool show to think about the time and
And I did so
like-
much media stuff in my
Yeah.
day, and I still do a little bit
Yeah.
on my own. And I mean, so that stuff really interests me too.
Mhm,
I've
mhm.
sold advertising for a while.
yeah. If
back
you've
in the
done
day,
ad
and
copy at all, it'll attract you.
Mhm.
It'll hook
Yep.
you. It's
Yep.
cool.
a little
yeah.
bit. So
Yeah, just the costumes and the cars and everything that they have, that they nail it. It's worth watching it for that even.
So what's your number 5, Bill?
number 4, right? Yeah,
4,
we're up to
yeah.
number 4. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said 5. It is 4.
My number 4 is we talked about a band that this guy was in earlier. We talked about the Traveling Wilburys.
Wilburys.
I got a member that we didn't speak about, Tom Petty with American Girl.
Oh,
a good
yeah.
one.
So
Good.
great song. And I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I love Tom Petty, man. I wish I would have got to see him live. Never did, unfortunately, it was such a shocker to me when he passed away. I just wasn't expecting that. And he was just so classic to me. I mean, he did so much great music. And American Girl is one of his absolute classics. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah. It might be a Tom Petty song coming up in my
Yeah,
list.
Tom Petty was always. I had several opportunities to see him live, and I was like, I'll catch him next time. And I regret it now, man.
You guys, I saw him 7 times, man.
I
wow.
had at least 3 or 4 opportunities to see him. I'm like, well, no, I got to go.
I couldn't get
Dog
tickets for the
walk or
Hollywood
some
Bowl.
stupid shit like that, and I just didn't, it was-
I was when I was younger, I was playing so much softball. I played slow pitch softball all the time. I was playing 3 to 4 days a week. I was, and then playing in tournaments, not traveling a ton, but I played quite a bit of softball, and then I got into the sports writing thing, and that took up all my time. So for years, I never went to concerts. I didn't see anything. That's why I feel like I'm making up lost time now. I mean,
Yeah.
I got a different job with more time. I'm making a lot more money. And so, Mike and I go, and some of our other buddies, Jason White, DJ OCD off that metalstation.com. We go to shows together all the time. So, you know, I'm trying to catch up for all those guys I missed, because I missed some great ones. I mean, I never got to see Van Halen or, you know, David Lee Roth solo. I mean, I never got to see Dio. I never
saw
got to see
Skyscraper.
Soundgarden or Chris
Dio.
Cornell. I never got to see Tom Petty.
Yeah.
I mean, I missed so many. I never got to see Pantera. I missed so many through the years. Typo Negative. I mean, so many that I missed, you know, because I was off doing other stuff. So
that was your number 4.
yeah, yep.
So that's a great pick. Jerry, what's your number 4?
This is for you, Mark. Everybody says that Vinnie Vincent saved Kiss. No. Peter Criss saved Kiss with this song off
Fucker.
Destroyer. Beth. I don't care what anybody says. I love that song. I love Pete's voice, man. I think he's got the best voice in the band. I do. Sorry. I just do. And that song,
I agree.
That song made them money, and they kept them going, because the story wasn't going anywhere until that song. They flipped it over from Detroit Rock City and started playing it, and that's when the money started coming in. So what's with that look, Mark?
Oh, I'm just listening. I'm trying to be nice. Go ahead.
Oh, come on, dude. It's just an all-time classic song.
I don't know why it gets so much hate, Jerry. I mean,
don't
I think
either.
it's probably a little played out maybe by now, but I don't care. I mean, it was a great song. It's so much better than any of the garbage that they put out in the 80s and moving forward. I mean,
Tears Are Falling rules.
fucking sucks. I mean,
I love Tears.
I like about 2 songs. I like
You don't like Asylum?
I love Domino.
I love Domino.
And,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
I like Lick It Up, even though it's played out. Other than that, I could give a fuck less about anything Kiss did after Ace and Peter were gone. I shouldn't say that, because I do like what's the first album that Vinny was on? Ace is still
Creatures?
on the cover. Creatures of the Night.
Was good.
Good album. But I mean, I give a shit less about Kiss after Ace and Peter were gone, really. I mean, I'm pretty, you know, it took me years to listen to, and I love Dio, but I mean, to me, Black Sabbath is Ozzy, you know. I mean, that's just how I was. I missed a lot of that other stuff, you know. I didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song saved Kiss, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's,
But it probably did, but it was
the story was
it
going nowhere.
was a horrible song.
No,
It's like one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't sound like Kiss. Jerry, you're like frozen in time. There
There he goes.
All right, so you picked.
Good pick, Jerry. Good pick.
I was hoping nobody was going to pick Beth, but my buddy Bob Hay is probably already happy, because I already picked a U2 song, because me and Bob Hay agree on U2. And if you guys don't know who Bob Hay is, he's a cool dude sometimes. He'll probably text me about this, but he's a huge Police nut swinger. And I like the song Roxanne by the Police. I think it's amazing, those highs that he's doing. And plus, like in 48 hours, fucking Eddie Murphy going, you know, the song just burns in your mind. Like fucking Eddie Murphy singing that in 48 hours. Great movie. This has been a lot of great movies we've been bringing up in this thing.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy.
Again,
there's a new sheriff in town.
Another movie that would not be able to be made today,
Right.
The content. Yeah.
Nope.
It's burned. I love the song, but it's always burned in my mind with Eddie Murphy singing it. It's just like, I love that song. But we get to your number 3, Kate.
Ooh, all right. So my top 3 were very difficult for me to decide, but I have to pick Where Did You Sleep Last Night, but specifically the Nirvana Unplugged Live MTV 1994. It is a Lead Belly cover, In the Pines. I've talked about this on numerous other podcasts, that this is an old Appalachian folk song. So either In the Pines or Where Did You Sleep Last Night, but that version, Kurt Cobain singing that, and you know everything going on in his life, and he unfortunately had an untimely demise not long after this aired. That last guttural scream of this when he says it at the end. This song punches me in the gut every time I hear it. And we've had a whole show before, I think it was on Black Spinner, but we had a whole show before about best MTV Unplugs. This is always in my top 2 or 3 for sure. Their Unplugged is ridiculous. And especially closing with this song. This song destroys my brain every time I hear it. And the bigwigs for MTV tried to get them to go out and do like they beg them, go out, do an encore. We'll give you so many hundreds of thousands of dollars to do an encore. And they're like, no. And Cobain specifically says, no, there's no way I can beat that. I'm not going back out there.
I don't know,
I don't
$100,000, man. I think I'd be out there, but that's just
But
me.
think of how popular they were at the time, like how much money they were making at the time. That amount of money, he was more into entertaining in the craft than he was into money. And that was what I think a huge part of what allegedly destroyed him at the end was all the bullshit, all of that fame and celebrity and everything. But yeah, this version of Where Did You Sleep Last Night, and check out the Lead Belly version. Amazing. Lead Belly is one of the best old blues dudes, OG. Could hang with any of them, Muddy or Howlin' Wolf or any of them. Like Lead Belly's phenomenal, but this something about this version just guts me every time I hear it.
That was one of our best album battles. Was
album
and Alice in Chains.
That's
Alice in Chains 1.
That's my 2 that are really hard to decide: Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged or this MTV Unplugged. And Pearl Jam's. I love Pearl Jam's MTV Unplugged, but I think when we did them, I think that I picked Alice in Chains as my number 1. But this one, especially this is the closer. This song just guts me. I can't, that last guttural scream he does at the end of it, it's like, God, you feel everything he's feeling at that moment. It is crazy. It's so good.
The only good album Nirvana put out, in my opinion, I thought they were overrated. I mean, I love that album. I like that Unplugged. And listen, I listened to Nirvana when I was growing up. I mean, I was right in that wheelhouse.
You're right in that age bracket.
But then I heard the Foo Fighters came out, and I said, why the fuck did they ever let him sing? Just God, I could. I mean, I don't know. It just gets on my nerves. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo on you or anything.
No,
but
I get it.
I am not a Kurt Cobain fan. I mean, you know, out of the 4 Seattle bands, they were number 4 in my book.
He's not everyone's cup of tea, and I 100% understand that.
It goes Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and then
Nirvana.
And for me, at that age group, Pearl Jam was the one that I loved the most. But I've always adored Chris Cornell. I mean,
man, one of the best singers ever.
He's another one. When I was going off about Voice of an Angel with Dallas Green, Chris Cornell, Voice of an Angel. He has one of the most beautiful voices ever in music.
Hello to heaven.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I mean, that's probably honestly his best work is that Temple of the Dog album. And it's the best.
Well, and him and Eddie Vedder, like Eddie Vedder's voice in that is ridiculous too. And that's I feel like
Chris brought out the best in those guys. Well, you know, the story behind that, because I just read his if you get a chance to read it, it's a biography on Chris Cornell called Total Fucking Godhead. And it's a great book. It was written by, I can't remember the guy's name now, but he's a rock journalist up there, Seattle way. And it's a fantastic read. But anyway, they talk about a lot of that stuff. You know, Nirvana was they were the fourth one on the scene, really, because Jeff Ament and Stone Gossard had been in Mother Love Bone,
right? Mother Love Bone.
Eddie and Mike, Eddie and Mike McCready came in with Pearl Jam, but that was why they did the Temple of the Dog, was to allow you know, that he wanted to give Jeff and Stone
Mhm,
and
mhm.
a chance. Him and Jeff and Stone and Matt Cameron wanted to do a tribute to, I can't remember the
Andrew
lead
Wood.
s- Andrew Wood, yes. And
Mhm.
I
they
love
let
that
they
band.
let Mike McCready
Yeah.
and Eddie come in because Pearl Jam was just going to get started. You
Just
know, I
about
mean,
to
Pearl
pop
Jam
off.
wasn't even a band yet.
Well, and you wonder if like if he didn't die from Mother Love Boat, if he didn't pass away early like that, like they end up picking up Eddie, and
I don't think they
would
would have.
Pearl Jam wouldn't have been such a huge thing. So you have these weird timing kind of ideals, and think of like
Yeah.
even how you said you love Foo Fighters, where if Cobain didn't have an untimely death, unfortunately, and I mean obviously ruled a suicide in that, but it's if he
Dave
didn't
had that stuff already. 'Cause he
right,
played it
would
for Kurt before Kurt died. And Kurt said
right,
this is great stuff. I mean,
right.
so
But would
Kurt
he have
appreciated
continued on and had the career that he had? And then to think about like last year, like Dave Grohl's been through it once, and then to go through it again last year with Taylor Hawkins, like
Taylor Hawkins, yeah.
I can't even imagine that
Well, those guys went through it
that
time
kind
and
of
time
shit.
again. I mean, they all grew up together. They were all so close. I mean,
I
Cornell
know.
dying and
Cornell,
Lane Staley dying and I mean and Andrew Wood. They all, you
I
know.
remember Lane. I think I was a freshman in high school with Lane, but the Cornell was really bad. That one hit me really, really hard because I was more into Cornell, and then it was in Detroit, especially. And it was one of those shows where I was like, it's kind of expensive. We can't afford it. We'll see him next time he's in town. And then to have that happen in Detroit, and I was like, God damn, that one hurt.
Tom
really
Petty and the
bad.
Heartbreakers Rose Bowl, his final shows. He
That
died
one,
the next week.
yeah.
I
yeah.
said, I'll just wait till he comes back again.
Yeah.
Gone.
Those
Yeah.
suck. Those suck
Yeah.
so bad because I had a chance to see Prince when Prince did that pop-up
Oh.
tour right before he passed away. And my friend's like, I have an extra ticket. It's $125, whatever. And at the time I didn't have it. I just didn't. I couldn't do it. And then he dies, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I hate that so much. I hate when that happens. So especially after the pandemic, I've made like a vow. Like, I am never missing a show due to being a broke asshole. Like, I'm never gonna do that again.
Well, shit, I missed Cheap Trick because I'm a
I will
broke asshole.
I will return cans or something. But have you seen Cheap Trick before?
Seen him 3 times.
Yeah, so it's
God,
different. I mean,
Yeah, but
I'm
they're
talking
different
about,
every time. It's a different set list.
Yeah,
I have
But I mean, people you've never seen. Like, don't make an excuse to miss
Well,
someone
I'm
you've
seeing
never
Ringo.
seen. that
I'm
you
seeing
wanna
Ringo
see.
Starr next month.
Yeah, I have tickets for him too. I've never seen him. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Cheap Trick was the first band I ever saw live when I was 17.
Oh my God,
And
it was
I didn't
probably
know
insane.
anything about I didn't know anything about them. The only
Uh,
song I'd heard was I Want You to Want Me, and I fucking
uh-huh.
hate that song. It's awful. And so I ignored them the entire time, didn't pay a bit of attention to them. And I saw them opening for REO Speedwagon. And
Now
now
you're
I look
kicking
back on
yourself.
it. Oh, yeah, because I don't remember. I remember they played that song, and I just didn't pay attention.
Gonna raise hell.
I need to
dude.
go see them again, and I've never gotten the opportunity to go, and I
yeah.
need to. Yeah.
Gonna raise hell if they never made another song. They'd be perfect.
Yeah. I just try to tell people, like, don't let, obviously don't skip your mortgage to go see a concert, but if there's any way you could swing it, like, put it on a credit card. It'll suck for a minute, but you'll be so happy you went to see him, because that's one of mine that I'm gonna get into in a minute, that we had tickets and the person passed away, and I fucking hate myself for never seeing this person, and it makes me so sad that we didn't get to make this happen. But I don't want anyone to miss a person they've never seen that they wanted to see because of something stupid like that. It just
Well,
sucks.
you always think you have time with some of these people, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they're all getting older. This year's been another 2016. This year's been a
Tom
son
Petty
of a
shouldn't have
bitch.
died,
How many
man.
people?
He mixed his drugs.
My dad was brokenhearted because we had tickets to see the Stones in 2019, and it got or in 2020. I'm sorry, we bought them, and then
Right
2020
before the
they got
pandemic.
canceled from the pandemic, and then they come back in 2021, and right before we're
Watts.
going to see him, Charlie dies. And
Yep.
my dad calls me and he's like really upset because he's like, if we wouldn't have had this stupid pandemic, I would have got to see
You would've
Charlie
seen him.
live too, you know, and I know it really bummed us out. And they did a great
Yeah.
tribute to Charlie when we saw him live, but it bummed me out because, you know,
it's sad that
I didn't get to
robbed
see
us.
Charlie Watt, and I would have.
Yeah, that
I saw
robbed
him on
us
the
of so
Steel
much
Wheels tour.
time. Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah.
With Guns N' Roses and Living Color, and Guns N' Roses were dicks. Yeah.
Wait,
Vernon
what?
Vernon Reed
Dicks?
called them out. Vernon Reed.
I don't even get what you're saying right now.
But you know, Vernon Reed of Living Color called him
Yeah.
out for being unprofessional. I was
Nice.
at that
Oh,
show.
really?
What a shocker! What a
Nice.
shocker
Yeah.
that is.
Nice. At least they got called out. God damn it.
Yeah,
Vernon
Cornell
Reed's
had
awesome.
some pretty great stories about
Yeah,
what
yeah,
dicks
yeah.
they were in his biography too.
Yeah.
Because
Corbin Reef, I think, is the author of that book.
yes, Corbin Reef, that's correct. That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you say your number 3, Bill?
No,
Oh, sorry.
Not
I'm
yet.
done.
Yeah.
I'm done. We went
we're,
on to
we're
like
still
a
going on. So
Yeah.
we derailed, but yeah,
won't-
Guns N' Roses Unprofessional, Fatty
Yeah.
Magoo and the Not
Yeah.
Slash
How the hell
Not
did we get
Slash
Guns N'
Band.
Roses? We always seem to get the Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue on the show. How's that happen?
yeah,
Charles is like, fuck you guys. Okay, go ahead.
we don't have to go into this one very deep because this was Kate's number 11 song. My number 3 is Girls by
Ooh.
Beastie Boys.
Oh.
So I mean, great song. You know, I was
really
the kid
want is
when-
girl.
when
Yeah,
I was
they're so
11. When I was 11, I was the kid. I was the white kid in the hallway beatboxing for all the black kids while they'd be rapping. You know, and I loved it. And then when I was 12, I get introduced to, you know, Metallica. So I mean, I was listening to Beastie Boys and Run DMC and LL Cool J in the 6th grade, and then in the 7th grade, I learned about Metallica and Megadeth and a little bit of Anthrax, and I was listening to Guns N' Roses a lot. I mean, Appetite for Destruction is an absolute masterpiece. I don't care what anybody says. I love that album, but you know, so this Beastie Boys were like a big part of my childhood, though. I
Me
mean,
too.
I absolutely loved them, and so you know, when we said you were doing this, that was the first song I think that popped in my head was "Girls" by Beastie Boys.
It's a good one. Jerry, number 3.
My next song is off their 3rd album. It's after their first 2 albums. This one was kind of a little, it kind of like their fans weren't exactly 100% behind it, but I loved the album. The singer is he probably is my favorite singer of all time. Like a Brad Delp from Boston. The song is Amanda. I know a lot of people shit on that song, and I understand it, but man, I love that song. And Brad Delp, holy shit, dude! He was all my
What a
favorite
great
singer.
vocalist.
When I heard he killed himself, man, I was like, I was lucky to see him live twice, but still, that's still one of the celebrity deaths that's still bugging me to this day, man. It's just incredible voice, and just a phenomenal band. Well, him and Tom together were just, man, one of the best duos ever.
That was a band. I mean, I didn't appreciate them when I was younger, kind of like Cheap Trick. And as I've gotten older, my God, do I love them. And you're right. Brad Delp was such an amazing singer, you know, and, you know, it's funny you chose that song. My ex-girlfriend's name's Amanda, and I used to sing that to her, but I'd change the words. I'd say, I'm going to take you by surprise when my Levi's rise, Amanda, or I'm going to take you by the thighs and make you realize, Amanda. Yeah.
I think the lightning must have struck Kate.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we lost her. She said she'd come back in on her phone, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it still says she's there. It's weird.
Yeah, third stage was kind of a weird album for them. I mean, it took like 10 years after Don't Look Back.
Yeah.
Not to come out. And I don't know if people just forgot about Boston, or I don't think it sounded much different than their first 2 albums, in my opinion. But a lot of people didn't like it for some reason. But
First album. Wow.
Oh God. I mean, jeez. Written in
and they recorded it in their basement.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, insane. I mean, I saw the house. It's about the same size as my house. I looked at Mike. I said, "Are we going to record one of the greatest albums of all time in the basement here?"
Yeah.
Too bad we can't play any instruments.
Yeah.
There's two people's death that three people. Eddie's death still gets to me. Brad's death still gets to me, and Richard Wright from Pink Floyd still gets to me a lot. They might just love all those bands, and it's just shame you're not going to hear anything else from these guys, man. It hurts sometimes, man. You're not going to hear anything.
Yeah. Neil Peart, Tom Petty, Harper, Tom Petty, Prince,
Cornell, Prince.
Cornell, Prince.
Cliff Burton for me.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't
one.
into Metallica when that happened.
Oh, that was the first one for me when I felt like a loss of somebody, that I looked up.
I didn't get into them to 87 when somebody gave me Kill 'Em All. And then I got into Justice after that. So I didn't
back then you couldn't verify what was true or not, what you heard in the news and stuff. You heard from
we lost again.
There's a rumor that Cliff Burton's bus, and where were they, Finland, something like that? Sweden, something like that?
Black Ice.
Boy, they were in Europe. I can't remember where though now. It might have been
another guy said this is unconfirmed reports, this and that, blah blah blah. So I didn't know for like a couple of days it was actually true.
I remember when Vinnie Paul died, Mike and I were doing a show. Vinnie Paul died in the middle of us doing a show, and we got the news, and man, that was kind of a shocker because we were doing on that metal station on air when we heard Vinnie died. He died during the show, so we started doing tributes to him and stuff. And yeah, that was, that tore us up, especially Mike. He was really torn up about that. So
Diane's death, gee,
yeah. Well, that's just a tragedy on any level. That kind of shit should never happen.
No.
Well, he's trying. Yeah, my thing keeps going low bandwidth, so I'm just turning my camera off.
Okay.
But when he trying to save people, when he fucking dies in a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
But that, like Lane Stanley, I remember too, and that I was in drama class in freshman year of high school. That shows how young I am. But I remember specifically hearing that in that class. I can see it in my head when someone said that. And it's just, there's a few that get to you bad, sad. I remember, like, I don't know if anybody's in a Stone Temple Pilots, but I got to see him the year before. And he was clean and he was amazing. They put on the best show, and then he relapsed and died. And I'm like, man, it sucks so bad. We were so lucky to see him.
I saw a few videos of him his last couple concerts. He looked bad. He looked pale.
Yeah.
Sick.
No, and like I saw him here. There's a thing called Common Ground up in Lansing in Michigan, up by Michigan State, and he was great. He was clean. His voice was amazing. They just destroyed the set that they played, and then within the next year he was gone.
Yeah, shame.
So that was your number 3, Jerry?
Yep.
Boston Amanda. And then my number 3 is I pick Angie by the Rolling Stones.
Good tune, man.
I love that song, man.
Good ballad. It's a ballad.
Yeah,
I'm the ballad hater, and that's one that's good.
Yeah, that's a great freaking ballad. I think that review is coming out on that album tomorrow. So
and then Andy were talking about that yesterday. He's not a big fan of Gillhead Soup, but I'm like, that's a really good album, I think.
Yeah, so we got a review coming out on Freeform Rock Podcast tomorrow on Goathead Soup. So then we get to your number 2, Kate.
Did you do your number 3?
Yeah, Angie.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm like distracted. Sorry. I keep getting a warning about a tornado. So I'm like looking out the window. Sorry. What
happens when you have a broad on your show?
See, we're easily distracted as broads. But my number 2, you guys know how much I absolutely adore John Prine. If you don't know John Prine, please listen to him. His first debut album, when he's 24, is absolutely amazing. He's so prescient as a young man coming out of Vietnam. But this album that I'm talking about is called The Tree of Forgiveness. This came out in 2018. The song is called When I Get to Heaven, and the lyric is, I'm gonna kiss a pretty girl on the tilt-a-whirl. And it's such a sweet, amazing song and a very weird music video, which I'll send you guys. I'll post it on BS. But John Prine's one of the best singer-songwriters on the planet, and I feel like not enough people know him. He's on like the periphery. I always say it. He's like on the periphery of the Outlaw Guys, where I feel like Christopherson is on the periphery. Prine, though. This song's so sweet and so cute. And then unfortunately, COVID took him out. And that's who I was talking about when I said I had tickets to see him. We were going to see him in Louisville in May, and he died in April of 2020. And the weirdest thing, so did you guys see my picture of me with Fiona Prine?
No.
I posted it, but Bill's not friends with me, so he might not have seen it. But I was in New York in July, just literally this July, and the last day we were in New York, we're gonna just walk around town. We didn't have anything planned. Our flight wasn't until like 9, so we're walking around, and I'm walking on the sidewalk, and all the places still have these like little outdoor cafe things set up because of the pandemic. And I just stop in my tracks, and Nick's like, "What the hell? What's wrong?" And I like see this woman sitting in the cafe. She's drinking coffee, and I stop and see, and I'm like, I have to go talk to her. And I go up to her and I'm like, "Excuse me, sorry to bother you, but I can't not ask you, are you Mrs. Prine?" And it was Fiona Prine, John Prine's wife. And I lose my mind. I'm literally shaking, trembling. I'm like walking with a coffee. I have to set my coffee down, and I'm like, I can't tell you how much John's music means to me. And told her about how he had tickets to see him, and then he got sick, obviously, and passed away, unfortunately, from COVID. But she was an angel. She was so nice. She talked to us for like 20 minutes. She was there because she had just met someone, because they're going to be making a documentary about his life. And I legit have goosebumps right now talking about this. Like, it was just such a weird thing. I had to Google it because I was like, what's the chances of this to run into her? There's like 1.7 million people in Manhattan at any given time. And she doesn't even live there. I don't know exactly where she's living right now. I don't know if she's in Tennessee or if she's living back in Ireland. She's from Ireland, but I'm like, out of all the chances of seeing a random person, especially a celebrity's wife, like how many wives of different musicians that you guys love, or husbands, if it's a female musician, how many would you guys recognize?
None.
Probably,
you know,
who knows who you've passed and didn't even realize who you passed?
Oh, man.
Sharon Osbourne, I'd recognize.
Unless it's Heather Locklear, who was with Tommy Lee,
yeah, you'd recognize her, right?
Yeah, Heather
but
Locklear.
It was just such a weird thing to like. I just, out of the corner of my eye, saw her sitting at the cafe drinking coffee, and it just hit me like a bolt of lightning to my brain. Like, that's Fiona Prine. And it was, unfortunately, a friend of mine from high school passed away. And at the like funeral and gathering after, I was talking to a friend of mine who saw the picture I posted, and he's like, "Oh, sometimes people send you someone." And I was like, man, I convinced myself after that, like, I don't believe in ghosts or anything really, but I definitely believe in like energy. And I was like, man, John sent me. Like, she just was doing this thing where she's talking to someone about his life and making a documentary about him. And she kind of had not a forlorn, but just like a kind of like something, you're reminiscing about someone you lost, especially someone like John. She had this like look on her face that I stopped and I went and talked to her, and it was like, she thanked me for talking to her. She thanked me for being a fan. She asked me if I wanted to take a picture, and she just was an absolute gem. Just what a kind, generous human to talk to us for so long and then be appreciative of me being a crazy nerd and being like, holy crap, you are Mrs. Prine. But yeah, what an angel. She just couldn't have been nicer. But this song, When I Get to Heaven, it's such a cute, sweet song. And then to come out in 2018, and then unfortunately he passes away in 2020. But I'll send it to you guys. It's such an adorable song. I just he's so great. And anyone who doesn't know him needs to listen. those bookends. I always say it's his bookends. His debut album is one of my favorite debut albums of all time. And his final gift to us when he writes Tree of Forgiveness is such a phenomenal album.
I hung out with a family that
Uh-huh.
I used to DJ a lot. I DJ a lot of
Uh-huh.
wedding receptions and stuff. And I did so many wedding receptions and parties for this family for all the, there's a bunch of kids, cousins, everybody. And one of the songs that the family absolutely loved, we'd hang out at a lake too, and they would play this, and they had a song, a dance they did to it, was In Spite of Ourselves by John Prine. And we used to, we used to listen to that song all the time. Great song. I mean, that's about, I mean, I've heard other things by him, but I love that song. And it really
it's him
does
and
real deep
him and
into it.
Iris Dement. Iris Dement's the female voice on that.
Yeah.
That's literally the song that got me into John Prine. I heard that. I was playing some whatever, and you know, Spotify will tell you to listen to whatever else. And that's the song that got me into him initially. Like no one else I know really listened to him. And that's the song that caught me, that it's like the most honest and realistic and silly and just endearing love song. Yeah.
Yep. He's
In
got
spite
more
of
balls than a
ourselves.
big brass monkey.
Oh, it's so good. That's my fiance. I can trick him into doing karaoke with me when we do that one as a duet. Yeah. It's so sweet. It's so sweet and silly. And it was written, he wrote it for, he was in a film with Billy Bob Thornton. I can't think of the name of the film, but he's in a film with Billy Bob, and that's when he ended up writing that song. But the female lead vocal, to shout her out, is Iris Dement. Yeah, it's such a cute song.
See, last time I sang karaoke, I sang Dear Penis by Rodney Carrington. So.
All right, Bill, what's your number 2, man?
You had some Bon Scott era AC/DC earlier, Mark, so I'm going back to the well, and this is with my favorite AC/DC album, kind of lame maybe, but Highway to Hell, and the song is Girls Got Rhythm, which is arguably my favorite AC/DC song of all time. I mean, I absolutely adore that song. I adore that album, and you know, it's just perfect, you know, swagger filled, you know, Bon Scott, you know, man was great. So
yeah, man, mine's Power.
That's my favorite AC/DC album. My favorite song is Touch Too Much off that album.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Mine's that's my favorite. Power Age with Down Payment Blues, Riff Raff, Sin City.
Yeah. Yep, Sin City's a good one too. Yeah.
So Jerry, what's your number 2, man?
My number 2 is, I'm going with Styx again because I'm a huge Dennis DeYoung fan.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna take an album off, a song off the album Equinox, Sweet and Adam Blues.
A good one too.
What a great song that is, man! It's like everything you need into a cool rock song.
That's slow, a prog rock masterpiece, man.
It is, yes. It's really prog rock. But anyway, that's my number 2. Gotta kind of move this along here a little bit, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Well, then I've been going fast. I've been letting you guys talk, and so have you, Jerry. But I go for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Mary Jane's Last Dance.
Good song.
Good pick.
That video was creepy as fuck with Kim Basinger. My God,
it was.
Oh my, oh hell yes, honey, put on that party dress, buy me a drink, sing me a song, take me as I can, because I can't stay long. My God, it's like, I remember that song. I haven't heard it in like a few months, but I know those lyrics.
I think I was a senior in high school when that came out.
That's another greatest hits album I think everybody had at one time.
Yeah, because it had that song on there. And
it had that one song from
the Birds.
No, it wasn't the Birds. It was the Instigator. Something in the Air.
The Instigator. Yeah, that's the Birds song.
No, that's
Instigator's the Birds.
Oh.
Instigator's the Birds, dude.
Something
Roger McGuinn. Tom Petty was a huge fan of the Birds, dude. Hold on.
Thunderclap Newman was the band that sang that song, dude.
Mark's Googling. Google.
Oh, hold on.
Google.
Instigator by the Birds.
Google Instigator.
Investigator.
I thought it was something in the air. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was the birds because he did a lot of bird shit. So get it, bird shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's about right. David Crosby shit. Yeah.
Hey, I like Roger McGuinn. Roger McGuinn is awesome.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2. What's your number 1, Kate?
All right. Like I said, the last 3 in this were really hard, but my number 1 is Girl from the North Country. And it has to be the Dylan and Cash version. It cannot be Dylan solo. It has to be Dylan and Cash. This is off Nashville Skyline in 1969. Such a beautiful ballad by both of them doing a duet. And I don't know. There's something about this song I love so much. The lyrics are beautiful. The instrumentals are absolutely incredible on this. I love that there's a part of it, if you guys know the song, that Dylan kind of screws up, not necessarily screwing up the lyrics, but he screws up the timing, and he goes to say something and then he stops and then cashes it on it. But it's funny that they kept it in. But I think it's such a perfectly imperfect song, and it's such a great duet and a beautiful ballad, which is, I have stated before, I'm the ballad hater. But it's so fantastic.
Are you? You've liked a lot of ballads.
Sometimes this is me picking my favorite ones.
Okay.
You know how I am on other shows where I'm like, ballad. This one, oh, I love this song. This is probably one of my top, I don't know where it would rank in my top favorite songs of all time, but this is way up there in top favorite songs of all time, not just songs with Girl. It's beautiful song. Fantastic. But Bill, what's your number 1?
So Mark already had my number 1 earlier. I didn't say anything, but it is Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Nice.
So love that
I said
song.
flat. I messed it up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. One of my
He likes
favorite
them girls
Queen-
with no ass.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, dude?
Oh, my wife has an ass. Go ahead.
All right. No, Fat Bottom Girls, one of my favorite Queen songs. Loved it growing up. And back in my 30s, I dated a girl who was a nanny at the time. So, you know, she was a naughty nanny. She wasn't a very good girlfriend, but I do kind of think about her when I hear that song.
Was she molesting the children that she took care of?
No, she wasn't. She might have been molesting me, but not the children she was taking care of.
Because that is a weird part of that song, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, just Queen's such a weird band, you know, and I mean, I don't even know how to classify them. You know, they did so many different weird experimental things, but Fat Bottom Girls is just it's a kick-ass rock and roll song. So.
Queen's one of those bands that maybe many replicated but never duplicated.
No.
Absolutely.
They go from Fat Bottom Girls to Bicycle Race. I'm like, how can you
right?
explain?
I know. Bicycle Race.
So Jerry, what's your number 1?
I looked it up, Mark. I am right. It was Something in the Air by Thunderclap.
Ooh.
You're right.
Dr. Google told him he's right.
I said you were right. I messed up.
But you guys, Mike took my thunder. That's my number 1, Fat Bottom Girls. Man, I love that album.
Oh, nice.
I love that album, Jazz. I love Queen, dude. One of my favorite bands.
Jazz is such a great album.
Freddie, man, one of the best freaking
great frontman.
The only thing that I'm pissed about Freddie Mercury is that he died the same day as Eric Carr. Because Eric Carr was the first one that died, and then after Freddie died, everybody forgot about poor Eric.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
Right.
That was when Michael Jackson died,
Farrah Fawcett, right?
Yes, Farrah. Yes. So it was like she completely got dissed.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate timing, but
that's par for course for Eric Carr in his career, though. Really,
things like
he's been overshadowed,
so
underappreciated,
so underrated,
underappreciated. But that's why. And we're talking about Queen again. I mean, I say this every time we talk about them. They're bigger now probably than they were when they were all together. They're everywhere
Absolutely.
in pop culture.
Mhm.
I mean,
Commercials,
the movie helped,
movies.
but
Yeah,
the
it did.
movie
Right.
helped for sure. But
Right.
yeah, people love Queen now.
Every
They really
decade,
do.
there's a revival of Queen.
And I don't even mind the Adam Lambert version of Queen. I don't think that's a scab for some reason.
Wayne's
Don't.
World brought them back
I-
again.
Yes.
Yeah. In the 90s,
Every
they
decade,
got
there's a
popular again.
revival. Queen
True,
always
yeah.
has a revival. The movie was the next one, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
parents used to play. My dad had a big record collection, and he would play "We Will Rock You" when
Yeah.
I could barely stand up.
Eh,
I don't even know if I was walking yet, but they had a little video of me just standing there, and I just sway back and forth
Ah.
and stomp my feet on the ground. You know, I loved it. You know, from
I
the
just remember
first moment.
singing "We Are the Champions" as we won kickball. We
I mean, that's still
Yeah.
played in sporting events. Even in
Yeah,
football.
never-
all the time. Yeah,
It's a song that's never ever going away.
No.
That it shouldn't. I don't feel like it should, but it's one of those songs that "We Are the Champions" is forever going to
it's
be a
so-
classic sports anthem forever.
It's
That
so
would-
hard to classify. You're right, though.
Mhm.
How would you describe Queen to somebody never listened to it
because
before?
there's some metal songs too. I mean,
Stone
when you
Cold
think
Crazy?
of sheer
Yeah,
sheer
I mean,
heart
all that
attack and
stuff.
Stone Cold Crazy, like
Mhm.
Metallica. When
Ogre
Metallica
Battle?
covered Stone Cold Crazy, they didn't really even change the song that much.
Right.
I mean, that song it's pretty much a straightforward cover. I mean,
Mhm.
they could be really, really heavy, and then they could play something like Bicycle Race or
Something
Radio
silly.
Gaga or you know,
Seaside-
I want to
Seaside
break free,
Rendezvous?
and I mean,
What about
Yeah.
Seaside Rendezvous?
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
1920s, like,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
you know, like Broadway
Cra-
kind of shit.
Crazy Little Thing Called Love, which is
Yeah.
like almost like an Elvis song. I mean, it's just all
Mhm.
kinds of craziness that they would do.
They were
And
Not
all
Brian
bad.
Brian May had a great voice and needed to sing more songs.
He does.
yeah,
Oh, them two
and
singing-
an astrophysicist. How
Sail
many
on,
of them
Sweet
have?
Sister
Wait.
rules.
How many PhDs?
Those two singing "Who Wants to Live Forever," man. Brian and Freddie's voice,
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Man. Dude,
Roger
just talk about
Taylor can
Goosebumps.
sing too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Roger
just-
Taylor. There's a song that called
in
"Son
Love
and
with My
Son and
Car.
Daughter." If you know that
You hate-
song,
Yeah, son and daughter.
"Son
Yeah.
and Daughter."
Yeah.
Corrosion of Conformity covered it a few years
Mhm.
ago, and I mean, great song, and that's a Roger Taylor sing song.
I just can't get in. I'm in love with my car. That's the only.
Yeah.
song.
You don't like him. You
Right.
don't like him singing the song "Sheer Heart Attack."
Yeah, he's got a great.
Yeah,
voice.
no, yeah, he's great on that too.
Sing that song great. And remember, we I don't think that review's come out. So I'm freeform. We talked about a Queen live album. Did that come out yet? No, right?
Live at the Bowl.
Mhm.
No, it
No, that hasn't come out yet. Yeah, Live at the Bowl. It's one of our Queen live albums on Freeform that's gonna be coming up soon. But I'll get to my number one, and we're talking about Beatles song. I think I had to pick like we were talking about getting canceled.
Mhm.
They would get canceled for this song big time. I don't even think John Lennon liked this song later, but "Run for Your Life" by the Beatles. Better
Yeah.
run for your
Run
life.
for your life,
and
little
little
girl.
girl.
Yeah.
Put your head in the
Yeah.
sand, little girl.
I've
Right,
talked
me and
about this
Gilbert.
before on
Yeah.
podcasts, and I'm like, that's a really like creepy, threatening song. That's like a stalker song. That, yeah, definitely a canceled song for sure now.
Yeah, and I love that song. It's just
It's good
it's-
though. I like when they get creepy and they get weird, where it was like their pop era, but it's like a spookier song.
yeah, but it's like, oh my god, this is like it's poppy. It's like do 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 do,
Mhm.
and then they're singing these lyrics. I go, what? I'm like,
It's
like a
very
360.
it's
yeah.
very sinister compared to the way the instrumentals sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a total 360 from
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the song is a contradiction.
yeah.
I love it. But that was our thing of our top 11 songs with girl in it, or girl or she or whoever.
Feminine pronouns. Let's just say
Yeah, pronouns.
Pronoun, top 10 pronoun songs.
pronouns
There you
seem
go.
to be a popular
Yeah.
discussion nowadays. So.
Top 11 songs about some kind of broad.
Some
But
kind
you
of
need-
broad, yeah.
You need to remember this, Jerry. I had an idea for a show. The top 11 songs with the best B-sides.
Ooh, yeah.
That would, take,
Singles,
that would
yeah.
take a ton of research.
That would be
Yeah,
hard.
it would.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
That'd
Hey,
be really
I
hard.
bet Aunt Andy, if you heard that, I know you want to do it. Do it.
Oh, he's breaking out the cassettes right now.
Oh, he's breaking it from Blacksburg to Circle and
I want to ask Andy to do an episode of all the films with Huey Lewis songs.
oh, that'd be a good one. Oh,
I'm
Back to the
writing it
Future, all three
down.
of them, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
three of the Back to the Future. What was that horrible?
Yeah.
He did that karaoke movie with Gwyneth Paltrow. That was a
dude,
horrible movie.
you never heard the song
Oh,
Pineapple Express?
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Bill?
Jerry.
I do. You're talking about, man, what was the name of that movie?
I think it was his daughter, right? Gwyneth Paltrow was his daughter in that movie.
They were doing duets.
Duets.
I don't watch. Yeah,
Duets.
I don't watch Gwyneth Paltrow movies too much. I you know, her best acting performance was when her head was in that box in 7.
I like Shallow Hal. You didn't like Shallow
I
Hal?
agree.
Yeah,
don't
it's
see-
not that bad.
don't see the big-
She's so pretentious.
Yeah.
Who the fuck sells candles that smell like their vagina? You know, that's
I
a
know,
real
I know.
thing. That's
We
a
talked
real
about that
thing.
before.
Have
Yeah.
you guys ever
Oh,
seen where they're
my
making
Lord.
fun of that on Colbert? Have you ever seen where they're making
No,
fun of
I
that?
have not.
He makes fun of it all the time. He had her on and he's making
Nobody
fun of it.
believed me when I said she
Making
makes
fun of it to her
candles from her
face.
vagina.
Vagina scented candles.
Yikes.
Man.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I have like a dozen crystal vagina eggs from her.
What?
You got to look at her website.
Oh,
It's
my
mental.
goodness.
They sell like
Oh my Lord.
crystal eggs you're supposed to shove up there, and her
Oh
vagina,
no.
her vagina candles.
hey.
Oh.
Bleep,
Maybe I'm gonna
bleep,
start
bleep,
selling. I'm gonna
bleep,
start.
bleep, bleep,
Yeah.
bleep, bleep.
I'm gonna start selling candles
Let's
that
turn it
smell
to a
like my
porno.
farts or something.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Some
It's
Famunda
so
cheese,
weird.
Famunda cheese
Yeah.
scented.
Hey,
Mamunda cheese candles.
I just wanted to ask Jerry, you never heard the song by Huey Lewis and the News called Pineapple Express?
I probably have, but just
It's
not
from the
ring a
movie
bell.
Pineapple Express. They're talking about smoking weed,
Mhm.
and they even go a bong hit in the middle, go, ooh, it's the chronic. Huey Lewis singing about weed.
Yeah, it's
Fucking
so
great
funny.
song.
So funny.
I'm gonna send that to you guys, man. That song rules. It goes
You better have your
pineapple.
inbox is full tonight.
He goes Pineapple Express. I can't handle the stress. Get it? All right, man. We're gonna go out, but Kate, promote your stuff, man.
Well, one
Oh
thing
my
before you do
gosh.
that, Kate, you want
Yeah.
to talk about the band right there, right? Bill?
Which
Yeah, they watch us from the moon.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, I was gonna give it
oh,
to
yeah,
you
yeah,
next.
Yeah,
Oh,
let-
I'm sorry. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
it's
Mike.
fine.
Kate can go, and then I'll go. Yeah, that's fine.
No,
Yeah,
That's
sorry,
what I
my
was
bad.
gonna do.
I'm
no,
bad. my
you're
bad.
good. You're good, dude.
You're good, dude.
I don't care. I'm easygoing. Whatever, man. My promotions. I sell records. Please hit me up if you're looking for something specific. I will try to find it for you. I have International House of Vinyl. I have Vinyl Street. We do raffles. If you guys aren't used to that, it's a good way to win stuff more cheaply if you do win it. They call them
Yeah,
raffles.
I won Dark Side of the Moon really like with
Jerry's-
$10. That was kinda
Jerry's
cool.
won a couple things. I sell stuff. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to do any auctions, but I do live auctions on Facebook. I have Discogs that has some stuff listed for sale. Hit me up, friend me, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Bill, shout out your band, man. What's your shirt,
Yeah,
Bill?
so they watch us from the moon. This is a I would say this is they just dropped their first album. And they're kind of like Pink Floyd meets Black Sabbath with
Ah,
ABBA vocals, because they have two female
But
singers.
I wouldn't go to ABBA vocals. It's not sticky sweet.
It's not, but I mean,
It's
I've
haunting.
heard-
It's haunting.
it's haunting vocals. but
Yeah,
they're
thank
they're
you.
they're really good singers. I mean, I've heard people compare it to ABBA. I've heard people compare it to even like the B-52s.
Oh well, I'll
a
probably like it.
little
Love
bit.
the B-52s.
And you know, I mean, but the two girls have been friends since high school. They were in chorus together, and they've been around forever. And these are, I'd say, everybody's a little bit older in this band. They've come together and they do concept albums. They have a comic book that goes along with the album. And I should have looked this up ahead of time to let me get you the name of the album real quick. because I'm drawing a blank now that
You're on the spot.
yeah, now that I'm on the spot. But they
That's all right.
yeah, let's see. Because they just have the one album out right now, and they're from Lawrence, Kansas, where University of Kansas is from. A lot of them are alums from KU. And the name of this new album is Chronicle Act 1, The Ascension. So kind of like, I guess, Jerry and I mean, obviously different, but like Ghost and what Tobias has done, where he's got everything mapped out and he's got a plan on how he's doing everything. That's how Shane Murray, the rhythm guitarist for They Watch Us from the Moon, has done everything here. They have a plan and they've got things mapped out. They're theatrical. They all wear costumes on stage, and just phenomenal musicians. If you haven't heard them, you can go to the Metal Mike Facebook group page, and you can look up some live videos that I posted recently.
They're really doomy. They're really
yeah. I mean,
yes, very doomy.
You said
Very
Pink Floyd, Sabbath, and ABBA. So I'm sold. So I'll listen.
Well, I don't hear the app. Stop talking about that.
It's
You're gonna
just,
make me not like.
I mean,
them.
you have the two female singers, and I mean, they have beautiful voices. They harmonize very well, but it's over this really doomy, dark music in the background. Great guitar work. Yeah, check them out for sure.
I will.
All right. Jerry, I forgot to ask you guys. Let's do this real quick. Your honorable mentions, Jerry.
I already put my thing away.
Well, that sucks. We'll come back to you.
I remember I had Sheets Tight by Cheap Trick, Little Susie by Tesla, Mother and Father by Journey, and that's all. I had a couple more I can't think of at the moment.
Okay,
So.
Kate.
You guys talked about Fat Bottom Girls, so I'm gonna skip it, but that was on my honorable. Uptown Girl, can't help but like that song. I am a white girl at heart. I do like that song. Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison.
Oh, good song.
Yeah.
About a Girl, Nirvana, which I already had Nirvana on mine, but About a Girl. Jet, Are You Gonna Be My Girl? I feel like
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
that
one of
one-
them I had. Yeah.
that one like kicked out, and I don't know, it's funny. I feel like they kind of fell off the face of the earth almost.
They had
and-
3 albums and they broke up.
Yeah.
I have all
so
3 albums and they're really good.
But I really
Really?
did like that song, and
I
that
tried.
feels
I tried
like
to,
not into it. I feel
I
like
love
it's
them.
it's a good throwback. It has a different feel to
Yeah.
it for the
Have
time.
you ever heard the song Back Off Bitch by them?
Mm-mm.
Jerry?
I'll look
Maybe.
it up.
Listen to the song Back Off Bitch by Jet. It's off the first album.
All
Fucking-
I
it goes,
only
"Back
heard was
off,
that
bitch."
song. You Want to Be My Girl? And they had like a slower type song there.
I know, but listen
Yeah.
to the
Can't think
deep
of the
tracks
name
on
of
the
it.
first album are amazing. Back Off Bitch, dude, rules.
Hey, I've been revisiting stuff I didn't like in the past, and I'm liking it. So
You
maybe
turn
I-
around on it. There's definitely a lot of stuff I find now that I hated as a kid, and now I'm like, oh, I actually enjoy this.
I never thought I would like the White Lion album, but when I heard Big Game again a few months ago, I'm like, wow, that's not bad. But
Mhm.
the
Hey,
first
we
one's
haven't
good
reviewed
stuff.
that. Keep that in your pocket for
Jerry.
Charles. Charles,
Well, I don't-
White
Jerry.
Lion, big game, buddy.
Pride
Jerry,
is terrible.
wait,
Pride.
wait,
Pride is
Jerry,
terrible.
wait,
Pride is
wait,
terrible.
wait. No.
Am I
White
gonna have to do
Lion.
that sit in the corner
Yeah.
thing again? On the
Yeah,
show?
yeah. Turn around. Yeah, man.
Nose in the
Jerry,
corner. Nose in the
Jerry,
corner.
I thought you were cool, man. White Lion.
Bill,
Sound like
Bill,
Bushy on here.
you have any
Yeah.
Bush? I agree
No,
with White
I ain't
Lion.
that bad. You won't see me with poison or any shit like that.
Oh, shut
All
up,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, every
Yeah.
rose has its thorn, man.
Ah.
Oh my God. Oh, Mark,
I was
I'm gonna
surprised, too.
start making you cry tough here in a minute.
Oh no, I was surprised too that I liked it. But you know, I don't like their
No.
first album or the one.
You
after
heard
that.
your mother. All right. Bill, what's your honorable mentions real quick?
So I had quite a few I'd written down, but some of them, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend by Typo Negative, Sour Girl by Stone Temple
That's a good
Pilots.
Ooh, yeah, I
Okay.
like that a
Um,
lot. Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, Country Girl by Black Sabbath,
That's a good one.
which is a Dio era song. Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Ooh.
Um,
No,
Breaking the Girl
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Breaking the
All right,
Girl
Bill,
by
Bill,
Red Hot
Bill,
Chili
Bill,
Peppers.
No doubt.
Bill,
No doubt.
wait
Yeah,
one
yeah.
minute. You got on my White Lion. You're doing No Doubt.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
going. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a
I'm
white
just
line
kidding.
into
I
No
don't
Doubt.
hate No Doubt. I like a couple of No Doubt songs, so that's cool.
Do you like Hollaback Girl too?
That's Gwen Stefani.
No, not that. I like that first
Fuck
No
that.
Doubt album. That first one, I think
Spiderwebs
that's
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
that
ska
album.
girl.
I was in high school when that came out, so
I liked
You know,
Hella
I
Good.
was-
That was it.
I listened to that album quite a bit. And one of my buddies who passed away several years ago, he was really into that album. We used to listen to it a lot. So I hope I made you feel bad there, but yeah.
Well, that kind
No,
of
I'm kidding.
that album actually changed the depressing mood of grunge music.
Uh-huh.
It
I'd agree.
got more
I'd
happy
agree.
state, sounding music. So that
Yeah,
I'd
album,
then
agree.
we got
She's a little bit more
Hoobastank.
upbeat with stuff.
yeah.
So
Then we got
but-
Hoobastank.
Yeah,
So-
Hoobastank, yeah. And then
She was good when she was a ska girl. I like that
Yep,
era of
When
her.
she was from Orange County, OC.
Mhm.
and that was that
Mark
was that album.
represent. Mark represent.
Well, I work in Anaheim, so there you go.
I know.
Couple others I had were Detroit Girls by Stars, if you're
Mhm.
familiar with
Oh,
them.
those
from the
stars,
70s.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And then these I said My Best Friend's Girl by the Cars.
Oh, I forgot
Yep.
that one.
And I mentioned Breaking the Girl
damn.
by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I
Blood
love
Sugar,
Or
Yeah.
Sex
you are the
Magic.
girl by the
What a-
cars too. Damn.
But Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Old Chili
I love that
rules.
album.
Yeah.
That is a
And,
great
uh,
album.
Old Chili is
And then
fantastic.
The last two I'm going to leave you with are going to be kind of way out there, and I'll see what you guys say. I got Cosmic Girl by Jamiroquai.
Oh.
I
They're
always
not
loved me
bad.
some Jamiroquai. I
they're
loved
pretty
his
cool.
big stupid hat.
You
Yeah,
know,
you know?
Bushy loves
And-
Jamiroquai, so
and
you
then
guys are in the
he,
Bushy
uh,
territory there.
You know, he was like funk and disco kind of combined. You
Mhm.
know, in the
Disco.
'90s, and I
I
mean-
can't think of the name of the song, but the video he was like walking on the ceiling.
yeah,
and the wall.
yeah. That might
What
have
was the
been
name of that
Canned.
song?
That might have been Canned Heat, which was the song that they used in
Okay.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Hey,
that
Terrence
Napoleon
Trent
was
of
dancing to.
Darby was better. That debut.
And then
album. There you go.
Okay.
my last one that I'll leave you with is Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw.
Oh.
So one thing I've always said about country music is lyrically, I like the simplicity of a lot of country music, and I think that's a beautiful song. I'm a big Tim McGraw fan of everything. As an actor, as a dude, I
Oh
think
man,
he's cool.
1883
is
was
badass.
awesome. Oh
Yeah,
man.
and
That song
and
he did with Def Leppard too was pretty cool.
and I've always liked his,
Nine
his
Lives.
music and
Yeah.
but you know, lyrically a lot of country music resonates with me just because of the simplicity, and it's good storytelling. Musically, a lot of times is where, you know, it loses me. I'd rather listen to some badass guitar solos and riffs and stuff like that. But you know, I think Don't Take the Girls and McGraw's got several, you know, good lyrical storytelling songs, and that was the first big one that kind of put him on the map. So I wanted to give shout out to that too. So
Okay. Well, I'll give mine real quick. Polythene Pam, the Beatles. Charlotte, Sometimes
Ooh,
the
yeah.
Cure.
All right.
Melissa, the Allman Brothers Band. Blue Jean, David Bowie. Valerie, Steve Winwood. China Girl, David Bowie, and the Beatles Girl.
I did have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
okay.
Damn. All right, man. I would like to thank you, Bill and Kate, for being on the show tonight. Jerry, any final
Yeah.
thoughts?
You said it, man. Thank you for being on, Bill, man. I hope you come on again.
Yeah.
Great having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is a lot of fun.
Me, Kate, and Andy got something brewing here. It sounds pretty good. We're coming out with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
Something cooking. Something
yeah.
cooking. Thanks
you
for
know, I
having
love-
me, guys. This was a fun one.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
All right, man. Like,
All right.
share, and subscribe, and hit that thumbs up. All right,
Bye-bye.
guys.
All right.
Take it easy, man.
All right. Have a
Bye.
good
Take
night.
care, you guys.
Night.